So we left that spot. 20 minutes. We got some bluegill. We didn't get that birch bite.
Welcome, everyone, to Grand Lake Health System Field, where tonight the St. Mary's Roughriders host the Elida Bulldogs on Rider Nation Station. It's homecoming 2019, and we'll have those festivities as far as part of our pregame show. I'm Joe Hurlbert. I'll be bringing you all the play-by-play action of tonight's contest. And joining me for the first time this season is Zach Farrell. Zach, welcome to the booth.
Joe, I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me in here and looking great out here tonight. This is my first time seeing a game here at the stadium. I had vacation earlier in the year, and wow, what a facility and what a night for some football.
Absolutely. Well, the Elida Bulldogs come into Rider Country 0-6 on the season. They're 0-5 in the Western Buckeye League. They are the only winless team in the Western Buckeye League. Of course, the St. Mary's Roughriders are 4-2 overall, 3-2 in the Western Buckeye League, and they creep up even more in the Division III Region 12 polls as they now find themselves sitting in fourth place in Region 12 in Division III. So the Roughriders played extremely well last week, Zach, against the Kenton Wildcats. They came away with a big win, 39-34 on the road. A game which they saw Blaine Houston for the Kenton Wildcats throw 87 passes. He completed about 53 of those for about 650-some yards. But it was like Coach Fry said this week in the Doug Fry Show. It was completely different from what games that they've played in the past, because normally Kent was the big play team. The Riders used sustained drives. It was just the opposite last week. The Riders came up with big plays while Kenton controlled the football.
Traditionally, you see St. Mary's own that play clock, own the time of possession. You see Kenton throw the deep bombs and score in 30 seconds. Totally opposite last week. I think if you're Doug Fry, you have to be happy with how much of it was a team win.
Absolutely.
You didn't have any real individual outstanding stats necessarily. Ty Howe certainly had a great game, but you had Kurt Butt throw a touchdown. You had Troglin throw a touchdown. So you had people, you had everybody stepping up on defense with Kenton. You had people stepping up all over the field. It was truly a team win for the St. Mary's Roughriders last week, which was absolutely necessary, huge, pivotal for their playoff chances, big in the WBL standings. You wish they only had one loss right now, but still with three losses, completely out of it. Anything can happen. We've seen OG have a couple close games. We know that Walpock and Kenton have one loss, so anything could happen these last few games. But great win last week by the Roughriders over Kenton. And certainly an outstanding game to watch for a spectator standpoint.
Absolutely. Well, as you mentioned, if the Riders are going to need some help if they want to climb back into the hunt of a Western Buckeye League title, a four-peat, if you will. Ottawa Glandorf stands atop the Western Buckeye League. They're 5-0 in the Western Buckeye League, followed by Walpock and Kenton at 4-1. Then St. Mary's is 3-2. Shawnee, Salina, Van Wert, Bath are 2-3 in league play. Defiance is 1-4. Elida is 0-5. And here's the way the games shape up this week. Shawnee is on the road at OG. That's a big game on the road at OG for the Titans.
That's a huge game. We've seen OG just barely squeak out a win now 2 weeks in a row. Last week against Salina and the week before against Van Wert. So you're wondering if OG is going to drop one of these close games. They keep coming through. Certainly Ken Schreiner and that team always going to put together a formidable team, and they're certainly winning the close ones, which is important.
And Wapakoneta is on the road. They're at Bath. Defiance will take on Salina. Kenton is on the road at Van Wert, and Van Wert continues to play well. So if Van Wert would happen to upset Kenton, that probably wouldn't be a surprise to a lot of people because Van Wert's playing well.
No, Van Wert, it seems every year they improve as the season goes. I'm sure their coaches hope that they could probably start out at that high level, but it seems like every year Van Wert continues to improve week after week, and this year's no different. Maybe Houston's his arm's a little tired from last week. Maybe certainly would not want to be playing Kenton's offense right now. but I definitely don't think you can count Van Wert out of that game.
Well, tonight's battle is the 50th meeting between the St. Mary's Roughriders and the Elida Bulldogs, with the Riders holding a decisive edge in the all-time series with 41 victories to just 8 losses. The series began back in 1970, and although the Riders won last year's contest in Elida, 4 of St. Mary's 8 losses in this series took place between 2010 and 2013, when the Riders went that stretch 0-21.
Yeah, that was some dark years for Rough Rider football there in the middle. But traditionally, this hasn't been a tough game for the Riders. But certainly want to see, since Doug Fry's been back, it's been good to see that they've gotten back on the right track against the Bulldogs from Elida.
As we mentioned, tonight is homecoming, and we'll have the homecoming festivities coming up shortly here on Rider Nation Station. But before we take a look at the Elida Bulldogs and have the homecoming festivities and the announcing of the 2019 Memorial High School Homecoming Queen and her court, we'll take this quick break. We'll come back right after this.
Allglaze Equipment Rental is your source for all of your equipment needs. Whether you're a contractor or a homeowner with a project, we can help get the job done more efficiently. Check us out at 1900 Salina Road in St. Mary's or allglazeequipmentrental.com, or just call 419-394-7883. Allglaze Equipment Rental. Stop in and see them today.
Albert Sporting Goods, located in downtown St. Mary's, takes pride in serving retail and team customers throughout the area and the state of Ohio. Our products consist of individual and team equipment for all community organizations, club teams, high school, and collegiate sports. Our on-site services include embroidery, screen printing, digitizing, and graphic design. For all your sporting good needs, stop in at Albert's Sporting Goods, 121 West Spring Street in St. Mary's.
Guarneri's on Spring Street, home of the signature Big Ralph sub, pizza, and calzone. Come try our thirst-quenching Riderade before, during, and after the game. And tonight is the last night for live music. They're going out with a bang. Stop in after the game and party with Free Rider. It's Guarneri's. Give them a call, 419-394-2244.
Varsity Lanes in St. Mary's, home of the Rough Riders 2018-2019 Boys and Girls State Bowling Champions. Striking up delicious food, 32 taps, Queen of Hearts, and nightly food and drink specials, as well as great family atmosphere. Also remember that carryouts are available. Stop in and see us after the game, and go Rough Riders. We welcome you back to Grand Lake Health System Field. Joe Hurlbert alongside Zach Farrell as the Elida Bulldogs come to town to take on the St. Mary's Rough Riders.
A lot of festivities going on out there, Joe, with the homecoming. It's great to hear the alma mater from St. Mary's All Brass Marching Band. Looks like we're getting soon here, going to have the Star Spangled Banner.
Yeah, well, they'll have the presentation of the colors, which will be down right on the track in front of the home fans.
And it looks like we're getting ready for the homecoming attendance, so we're going to go ahead and switch over to the PA so you guys can listen to that.
She was going to be there. She's back there.
Sophomore attendant Skylar Huff. Skylar is the daughter of Josh and Kristen Huff. Skylar participates in art club, 4-H, and track. Skylar works at the Allglaze County Sheriff's Office with their Explorer program. Skylar plans to attend the University of Cincinnati, majoring in criminal justice, or enlist in the Marines. Skylar is being escorted by Luke Schlomer, son of James and Linda Schlomer. Luke is representing FFA. Junior attendant Lucy Spencer. Lucy is the daughter of Doug and Andrea Spencer. Lucy is on the competition dance team at the Dance Center and participates in FFA, Student Council, Interact, Gatekeepers, Scobo,
That is on.
Band, and is active in
Their
4-H.
announcement is on.
She is an
They're doing it.
assistant dance instructor at the Dance Center. Lucy plans to attend college when
We're
she
running the PA
graduates.
through it.
Lucy is escorted by Austin Bully, son of Mike and Julie Bully. Austin is representing student council. Senior attendant Michaela Opperman. Michaela is the daughter of Mike Opperman and Jessica Jones. Michaela participates in band and dance. She works at Pantry Pride. Michaela plans to study music education. Michaela is escorted by Seth Goodwin, son of Sean
Nice
and
jacket.
Valerie McCollister.
That's something
Seth
you would
is
wear.
representing
Wow.
Drama Club. Senior attendant Allie Vanderhorst. Allie is the daughter of Jason and Sheila Vanderhorst. Allie participates in tennis, FCA, student council, and NHS. After high school, Allie is interested in attending Ball State University to study architecture and urban planning. Allie is escorted by Dakota Bensman, son of Jimmy Bensman and Lori Fowler. Bam is representing FCA. Senior attendant Brooke Yale. Brooke is the daughter of Vern and Amy Yale. Brooke participates in girls powerlifting, NHS, band, Interact, FCA, and FFA. She also participates in the Care Teams program and 4-H, and is a member of the Junior Fair Board and is active in her church. Brooke works at Albert Sporting Goods. Brooke is escorted by Mason King. Mason is the son of Justin and Shauna King. Mason is representing DECA. Carrying flowers for the Queen is Callie Darringer, daughter of Mark and Amy Darringer. Callie is 5 years old and a kindergartner at St. Mary's Primary School. She's being escorted by Nathan Jacobs with the crown. Nate is the son of Keith and Julie Jacobs. Nate is 5 years old and is a kindergartner at St. Mary's Primary School. Please welcome back the 2018 Homecoming Queen, Lydia Davis, daughter of Nazee and Haifa Davis. Lydia is escorted by Howie Spencer, son of Doug and Andrea Spencer. And the 2019 Memorial High School Homecoming Queen is Allie Vanderhorst. Memorial High School would like to congratulate Allie Vanderhorst in the 2019 Homecoming Corps.
Yep.
Thank you to Hudson Jewelers for providing.
Well, congratulations to the 2019 Memorial High School Homecoming Queen, Senior Allie Vanderhorst. She's the daughter of Jason and Sheila Vanderhorst, and she is the 2019 Homecoming Queen.
Complete with fireworks, Joe.
Absolutely. I'll tell you, a lot of festivities going on, as they did with the first game to open the season here at Grand Lake Health System Field. They had fireworks. That's the case again tonight. A lot of things taking place tonight. So it should be a great atmosphere for high school football. A little bit on the overcast side. There is a threat of rain from here through about 9 o'clock. It starts out about 60%, about 7 o'clock, but hopefully we won't encounter that. But here's the thing. With an artificial turf, it's really the only thing that is a concern is the wetness of the football. The field is pretty sure-footed.
Yeah, and really, you got to think if it does start raining, it probably helps St. Mary's a little bit more than Elida. Elida, has a spread offense, looking to pass the ball a lot. a little bit easier to run the ball in rain than to pass it. But it's 70 degrees out here, maybe going to keep cooling down. And but overall, pretty nice night for football.
Well, while we got a moment, let's highlight a little bit of the Elida Senior Bulldogs. Their head coach is Bill Speller. They come in with, as I said, an 0-6 overall mark, 0-5 in the Western Buckeye League. And when you look at the Elida Bulldogs year in and year out, they have some pretty decent athletes. In front of those athletes tonight is some pretty big people in the trenches. If you look up front, their offensive line, they're going to go 205, 220, 260 at center, 230 at right guard, 315 at right tackle. So they've got some pretty big people up front on the O-line.
For comparison, Joe, 15 years ago when I was center, I was 190 pounds. So that's a big boy playing center. Granted, at St. Mary's, we have a trimmer offensive line than a lot of schools, but those are some big boys. I definitely would not like to be our defensive lineman or Blake Canor trying to go against them.
When I was in high school, we had three players that went over 200 pounds.
Wow.
And they were huge.
Wow.
The biggest team in the Western Buckeye League at that time was the OG Titans, and they had a trio. I think they were brothers, the Laubenthal brothers, and they came in at 245, 260. They were the biggest kids, obviously, in the Western Buckeye League
I remember,
that time.
Yeah, we played against Kenton that had DJ Burris that was getting recruited by Ohio State, ended up going to, I believe, Minnesota, and he was pushing 300, 350 or something like that, and that was quite the person to try to block as a offensive lineman. Joe, I'm noticing a lot of differences with the field tonight as well. First off, we have the Grand Lake Health System emblem out there on the 25-yard line. That looks great. Additionally, it looks like the pylons in the end zone are new. We've got a close-up here for those of you listening can't see this, but the pylons have Albert Sporting Goods on one side and the St. Mary's emblem on the other side. So pretty neat and a great camera shot there.
Absolutely. Our camera crew's doing a great job. I want to ask you this question and see if you know this. Elida, years ago, had a phenomenal quarterback back in the mid-'70s. Do you know who that would happen to be?
I don't even want to guess, Joe.
A guy by the name of Ken Roethlisberger.
Okay. Father
of Ben. Yep. And Ken was the quarterback at Elida when I was the quarterback at St. Mary's. Ken played his collegiate football at Georgia Tech, and I went on to the University of Toledo. But we became close friends after college was over.
I knew Ben was from Lima, but I didn't realize that his dad played at Elida.
Right now, they're having the presentation of the colors, and we'll take a break, and we'll come back with the playing of the National Anthem right after this.
Here to take care of your signage, graphic, awards, and gift customization needs. Unique Awards and Signs. From banners for your graduation or corporate sponsors to awards recognizing those dedicated employees or champion sports teams. Stop in at 1865 Salina Road and see how we can help. We can help with your custom needs and give us a call at 419-394-1612.
Vocal Bake Shop, making thousands of donuts daily, open 7 days a week with stores in St. Mary's, Salina, and Wapakoneta. Also found in Wagner IGA stores in New Bremen, Minster, and Fort Laramie.
Fellowship of Christian Athletes. The Fellowship of Christian Athletes is a middle school and high school club looking to spread God's love throughout numerous schools and communities in our local area. FCA's favorite play of the game is when both teams come together at the end of the game to pray. FCA, making a difference in the lives of our student athletes. God bless you, sports fans.
Right now, the St. Mary's Memorial All Brass Marching Band will perform our national anthem. In the play of our national anthem. We are also pleased to welcome Lorelei McAllister as she signs for the Tyranny pair. Our national anthem performed tonight by the St. Mary's Memorial All Brass Marching Band. Here to take a look at the starting lineups for the St. Mary's Roughriders, my colleague tonight, Zach Farrell.
On the Rough Rider defense, we have at D end, number 13, junior Wyan McCollum. At D tackle, number 97, senior Blake Kenor. At the other D tackle, number 59, junior Trace Mabry. At the D end, number 10, senior Trey Fisher. At linebacker, number 4, senior Lucas Walter. At the other linebacker, number 29, junior Hunter Fraley. At middle linebacker, junior number 43, Brandon Paul. At DB, we have number 7, junior Dylan Troglin. At safety, we have number 12, Ty Howe. At other defensive back, we have number 8, senior Carson Fishball. And finally, at strong safety, we have number 35, sophomore Tanner Howe. We'll also see freshman number 85, Austin Parks. And number 77, Hunter Fultz. Definitely saw Austin Parks batting down some balls last week against Kenton there in the middle.
Absolutely. And the 6'7" frame had a lot to do with that. And I think he did an excellent job getting in the passing lane of Blaine Houston of the Kenton Wildcats.
For kicker, we're going to have number 83, Brandon Boucher. And punt returners, number 12, Ty Howell, and number 8, Carson Fishball.
When we get an opportunity, we'll give you the starting lineup for the St. Mary's Roughriders. The Roughriders will receive the football to start this contest as Ty Howell,
27, 6, and 8.
along with number 11, Brandon Hemmelgarn.
That's a new number for a kick return there.
And Dylan Troglin will be deep for the Roughriders to return this kick.
So once he's over here, you can blow it right up. Looks like 26. 26.
For the Elida Bulldogs, kicking off for Elida is Alec Ewing. Well, let's check that. I think that's number 14.
It looks like number 26.
26? Okay.
Gunnar Kuhn.
There's the kick, and it's going to be taken by Ty Howell at the 10-yard line. Brings it up to the 20, 25, 30. He's got a hole. He's to the 40, still going, breaks a tackle, and he's going to take this one all the way to the end zone. To the 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Riders.
Well, that's a way to start it, Joe.
I'll tell you what, for the second week in a row, the Rough Riders special teams score on the opening kickoff. Last week it was Dylan Troglin taking it to the house. Tonight it's Ty Howell taking it to the house. 90-yard kickoff return.
What I love about that, Joe, is he looked dead to rights right there in the middle of the field. He had a guy hanging around his waist, but that's what driving your feet and being a hard runner like Ty Howell is.
Absolutely.
Ran right through the tackle for a touchdown.
Brandon Bowers will attempt the point after touchdown out of the hold of Kurt Buff. The Rough Riders have scored quickly on the opening kickoff. There's the kick. It's up, and it is good. And with 11:43 remaining, the St. Mary's Rough Riders lead the Elida Bulldogs by a score of 7-0.
TSC is an independent telephone company that has been serving Wapakoneta, Cridersville, and surrounding areas with phone service since 1895. In 2003, we made history by expanding all of our offerings into the city of St. Mary's. We are dedicated to bringing our customers state-of-the-art technology and services with a hometown flair for individual customer care. Active members of local organizations such as the St. Mary's Area Chamber of Commerce, TSC stands by the communities that it serves. We encourage you to stop in and see us at 155 East High Street in St. Mary's and check out the products and the services TSC can provide.
All righty, back here at Grand Lake Health System Fields, Joe Hurlbert along with Zach Farrell, where the Rough Riders have drawn first blood, and they drew it pretty quickly as they returned the opening kickoff. 90 yards by Ty Howell, taking it into the end zone. Roughriders lead 7-0 on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard. This kickoff is being brought to you by your State Farm agent, Lori Yelton. Be a legend. Ensure your life. The kick is dropped by Marcel Poe of Elida, but he falls on it. And the Elida Bulldogs will set up shop 1st and 10 at their own 27-yard line.
Yeah, it looked like Hunter Fraley getting in there to make sure that he was down after he recovered that fumble, but pretty good kick by St. Mary's, and now Elida has about 75 yards to work here.
17, maybe 17.
11:39 remaining. Clock is stopped. It will start again on the snap of the football. The quarterback. I think they have a change at quarterback.
Yeah, it looks like number 11.
Number 17. The carry was number 9. That's Colin Smith. He'll pick up a couple.
Yeah, it is 17 there, Joe. Brandon Howard, sophomore.
So Brandon Howard, number 9, right? 17.
17, yep. Pitched it out there to Marcel Poe.
Well, that's a change in the starting lineup because originally Keyshawn Spivey was scheduled as the starter for tonight's ball game. So it's Brandon Howard. Howard's in the shotgun. And he'll give it to, I believe, Poe.
I think it's actually 46.
Gee.
Mike Nebel. It's tough to see these Elida
for sure.
numbers up here, Joe.
For sure.
46, the ball carrier, Mike Nebel, brought down by a host of Roughrider defenders.
So we'll give him a gain of about 5 on the play. We'll call it 3rd down and 3. Ball setting on the Elida 34-yard line. Clock is moving. Brandon Howard in the shotgun. Takes a 2-step drop. Ball is passing completed.
Looks like number 3, Devin Barnett.
Devin Barnett makes the reception, gets across the 40-yard line. The Roughriders bring him down at the 41, so it'll be 1st and 10.
It looks like Elida maybe trying to shake things up, put a different quarterback in there. Maybe they saw something last week in the Kenton St. Mary's film that they thought they could exploit with a different quarterback. Or
Five.
Howard gives the ball over to Marcel Poe. Poe crosses the 45-yard line, and he's brought down by a host of riders at the 47-yard line. So it'll bring 2nd down and about 4. Trey Fisher in on the tackle. Trace Mabry was in on the tackle as well. Good support by Lucas Walter and Dylan Troglin.
You know how I am. I don't get them right.
Brandon Howard in the gun. Gets the snap. Here comes Lucas Walter. He'll run him down, and he's got him. Brandon Howard keeps the football, and Lucas Walter chased him down from behind. We can see it here that Lucas Walter, he sees it all the way, and he's kind of creeping up, and chases him down the line.
Sticks with it and gets him, tackles him about the 47-yard line. So no gain there for the quarterback draw.
Brandon Howard, the quarterback, Marcel Poe beside him. Howard lets it go. Oh, and he is absolutely drilled.
Howard's pass incomplete.
By Ethan Wedding.
Beautiful defense by
Man.
the Roughriders, number 6, Ethan Wedding. 4th down.
It was good timing by Wedding there. Got to be careful not to hit him too early, get the pass interference call. Looked like he timed it up perfectly so that once the ball hit the receiver's hands, he hit him pretty hard and fell incomplete. So we have 4th down here.
Dylan Troglin and Ty Howell back to receive the punt from the Elida Bulldogs. They'll be standing at their own 20-yard line. There's the punt. Nice punt. Fair caught. Called by Troglin. So the Roughriders will have the football, and this will be their first possession of the football game. 8:32 remaining on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard. 7-0 St. Mary's here in the first quarter. Senior Kurt Bupp will lead the blue and gold out of the huddle. Riley Swigert will be your center. Give the ball to Fraley. Fraley's to the 40, 45, to the 50. He's going to be knocked out of bounds at the Elida 45-yard line. So good run by Hunter Fraley.
Absolutely. Joe, that was a trap right up the middle. Great job by the center and guards there of setting that trap. And Hunter Fraley has a lot of speed from that fullback position. I don't think they touched him until about 10 yards down the road.
Good. A lot of credit to Riley Swigert and Logan Allen, both seniors up there on the offensive line for the Roughriders. So the Roughriders make it to Elida territory. It's 1st and 10 at the Elida 48-yard line. Bupp will give the ball to Wedding. He's got a blocker out front, and he's to the 25, to the 20, to the 15, 10, 5, touchdown, St. Mary's.
Unbelievable. That's another trap, Joe, right up the middle. Great job again by Riley Swigert, Stash Patterson. Riders are on the board now.
46-yard touchdown by Ethan Wedding. Gives the Roughriders a 13-0 lead here with 8:13 remaining in the first quarter.
Wow, Joe, I was just able to watch that replay. Number 52, Stash Patterson, just had an absolute pancake block there on that trap. Caught the tackle across the line and right on his hip. Perfect form.
Bowers' point after touchdown is good. And the Roughriders now lead with 8:13 remaining here in the first quarter. 14-0 on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back with more right after this.
All Glaze Equipment Rental is your source for all your equipment needs. Whether you're a contractor or a homeowner with a project, we can help you get the job done more efficiently. Check us out at 1900 Salina Road in St. Mary's or allglazeequipmentrental.com. Or just give us a call, 419-394-7883. All Glaze Equipment Rental. Stop in and see them today.
Albert Sporting Goods, located in downtown St. Mary's, takes pride in serving retail and team customers throughout the area and the state of Ohio. Our products consist of individual and team equipment for all community organization, club teams, high school, and collegiate sports. For all your sporting good needs, stop in at Albert Sporting Goods, 121 West Spring Street in St. Mary's. Back here at Grand Lake Health System Field, Joe Hurlbert alongside Zach Farrell, where this kickoff is being brought to you by your State Farm agent, Laura Yelton. Be a legend. Insure your life. Marcel Poe on the return for Elida, and he brings the football all the way out to their own 33-yard line. So Elida Bulldogs will set up shop with 8:07 remaining here in the first quarter on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard.
Tell you what, if you're Doug Fry, you got to be happy with that start of that game.
Absolutely.
Defense, gave up some yards, but then made a good stop. And offense just absolutely dominated in the trenches.
Brandon Howard, the quarterback for Elida, in the shotgun. Takes a two-step drop. He's looking for a receiver. The Roughriders are closing in on him, and Blake Knorr brings him down, along with Brandon Paul. Just good pressure by the Rough Rider defense.
We saw that a lot last week. Unfortunately, they had a lot of opportunities to sack the Kenton quarterback that they weren't able to take him down. But this week, I'm sure they worked in practice this week about, hey, when we get in there and get a hand on him, he's got to go down this time.
No gain on a loss of, call it a loss of 1, so it'll be 2nd down and 11 for Elida. Brandon Howard, the Elida quarterback, out of the gun. He'll quick pitch it to Poe. Poe to the 30-yard line where he is brought down by Lucas Walder.
Great job there by Lucas Walder, keeping his hips parallel to the line of scrimmage and not allowing the running back to get an edge. Had nowhere to go, and he took a good angle to tackle him there.
Yep, and that's another loss for the Elida Bulldogs, and it'll be 3rd down and 14 for Elida.
Nine's going that way, and 3, and not 3 come back this way. 96, 5.
3 receivers to the right for the Elida Bulldogs, 1 to the left. Howard, the quarterback. Lets one fly over the middle, and it is picked off by Wedding. Wedding will return it to the 40-yard line, to the 39-yard line, where he is brought down by Elida's Andrew Etzkorn. So the Roughriders will again have good field position here at the 6:32 mark in the first quarter on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboards. We'll call it the 40-yard line.
Yeah, just a bad throw by the Elida quarterback. It didn't have too much pressure. Actually had an open receiver, but just overthrew it, and Wedding was there to take advantage of that opportunity.
Kurt Bupp calls the signals. He'll turn. He'll give the ball to, I think it's number
Fraley, I think 29.
Fraley.
Yep.
Jersey tackle 46, Mike Neagle. No gain.
Hunter Fraley, the ball carrier for the Roughriders. It'll be no gain on the play, so we'll call it 2nd down and 10 for St. Mary's. The football sitting right in the middle of the field. Kurt Bupp turns. He'll give the ball to Troglin. Troglin to the 35 on the sweep to the right and is run out of bounds at the Elida 28-yard line. So it'll be a 1st down St. Mary's, and they'll move the sticks on the far side of the field. 5:54 remaining here in the first quarter. 14-0 on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard. The Roughriders have scored twice here in the first quarter on the opening kickoff, a 90-yard touchdown run by Ty Howe, and also a 46-yard touchdown run by Ethan Wedding. Bupp turns, gives the ball to Howe, sweeping to the left side, and he is brought down on a nice defensive play by number 7, Andrew Etzkorn for Elida. That'll be a loss of about 6 on the play. We'll call it 2nd down and 16 for St. Mary's as the football rests on the Elida 33-yard line.
It is a traditional sweep. The guards went out there in front of the running back, but the defender ran right through the middle of them.
Bupp turns. He'll give the ball to Wedding, I believe, and he'll be tackled at the 30-yard line, so a gain of about 3 on the play. We'll call it 3rd down and 12 for St. Mary's.
St. Mary's tried a little off-tackle dive there, and unfortunately, one of the defenders just didn't get covered up and was able to take the legs out from under Wedding. Otherwise, I think he had a lot of space down the field if he could have gotten through that.
We'll see if St. Mary's goes to the air, but I don't think they're going to out of this formation. Slot to the right, and they'll hand the ball. No, Bupp's keeping the football. He's to the 25 to the 20, where he is knocked out of bounds. He's going to be about 1.5 yards short. We've got a flag on the play.
I think what happened there, Joe, is the Elida defender put a little extra motion out of bounds. See here on the replay. They did decide to pass out of there. And Kurt Bupp's tackled, pushed out of bounds, and then
well, there's the extra one at the little extra.
Almost like a pro wrestling suplex or something.
Trying
to throw him over his shoulders.
Takedown. So they're bringing this one back. And then they're going to go the other direction with the football. So holding on the Roughriders, unsportsmanlike conduct on Elida, I believe, is what they're going to call.
Right. So the holding was during the play. So
right. They'll mark that back, and then they'll go the other direction with the personal foul. So we'll call it 3rd down and about 5 for St. Mary's. Ty Howe, wing right for the Roughriders. Fraley and Wedding in the backfield. Turn, give it to Wedding. He's got blockers out front. Cuts back across the field to the 20-yard line where he will get tackled and brought down at the Elida 17-yard line. So it is another Roughrider 1st down. 4 minutes and 19 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. 14-0 St. Mary's on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard.
Just another good traditional Rough Rider sweep out to the right side. We used to call that a 28. You can see number 52, Stash Patterson, getting a good block there again.
Turn, give the ball to Howell. He'll run behind his blockers, and he'll be tackled at the, we'll call it the 11-yard line.
Gain of 5, second down and 5.
Andrew Etzkorn on the tackle for the Elida Bulldogs. Rough Riders quickly out of the huddle. Full house backfield behind Bupp. He turns, give the ball to Wedding to the 5, to the 4, where he is brought down. Good blocking at the point of attack.
Yeah, a couple of the Rough Rider offensive linemen were 5 yards down the field, pushing their men into the end zone. You always like to see that. Starting to notice a little bit of rain out there, Joe.
Yes, it is. There's about a 60% chance. Kurt Bupp with the quarterback keeper. He's going to bounce to the outside. He's still running. He's brought down now by a couple of the Elida defenders.
Up the ball carrier.
So the rain starts to fall here at Grand Lake Health Systems Field. Joe Hurlbert alongside Zach Farrell. Clock running. We're under 3 minutes at 2:59 remaining in the first quarter. Rough Riders lead 14-0 on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard. Fraley comes to the sideline. Ty Howe goes back into the huddle. Riders break the huddle. Riley Swigert over the football. Full house backfield behind Bupp. Turns, give the ball to Wedding. Wedding left side. Touchdown, Rough Riders. From, we'll call it 4 yards out.
Nice dive play there on the left side of the line. Gavin Ward, 76, as tackle. Stash Patterson. And I think Blake Kenor, they moved him over to that side as well. Great push by the line to get that dive in the end zone.
So 4-yard TD gives the Rough Riders a 20-0 lead with Brandon Bowers ready to try the point after. It's up and it's good. Out of the hold of Kurt Bupp. So with 2 minutes and 37 seconds remaining here on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard, it is the St. Mary's Rough Riders 20 and the Elida Bulldogs nothing. We'll be back right after this.
Guarneri's Pizzeria. Guarneri's on Spring Street, home of the signature Big Ralph sub, pizza, and calzone. Come try our thirst-quenching Riderade before, during, and after the game. Tonight is the last night for live music, and we're going out with a bang. Stop in after the game and party with Free Rider. It's Guarneri's. Give them a call, 419-394-2241.
Varsity Lanes in St. Mary's, home of the Rough Riders 2018-2019 Boys and Girls State Bowling Champions. Striking up delicious food, 32 taps, Queen of Hearts, and nightly food and drink specials, as well as great family atmosphere. Also remember, carryouts are available. Stop in and see us after the game, and go Rough Riders. This kickoff is being brought to you by your State Farm agent, Lori Yelton. Be a legend. Insure your life. Brandon Bowers will do the kicking for the Rough Riders. And it is caught by number 30. That's Joel Pruggenon. Unless you have a better pronunciation of that
That's
name.
a tough last name, Joe. Don't say that 3 times fast.
Absolutely not.
Peruganon.
Well, yeah. There you can see that the rain is falling here at Grand Lake Health System Field. Good coverage by Carson Fishbach in on the play. So the Elida Bulldogs will have the ball 1st and 10 at their own 16, well, we'll call it the 17-yard line. Brandon Howard, the quarterback, 3 receivers to the left. He's going to throw it to Poe. No, I'm sorry, that's Barnett. Devin Barnett on the reception, brought down by Troglin. Trey Fisher and Ty Howell in on the tackle for St. Mary's. We'll give them a gain of about 5. We'll call it 2nd down and 5.
Yeah, you just think that Elida is just trying to get any kind of positive momentum going on here, get the ball out quick to a wide receiver, and let something happen. Haven't had too much luck over the middle either. So
Brandon Howard in the shotgun. Got two running backs to either side. He'll give the ball to, not really sure who the ball carrier was, Mike Nibel. And on the tackle for the Roughriders is Tanner Howe, Lucas Walder, and also Hunter Foltz for the Roughriders. Clock continues to tick here in the first quarter. We're down to 1:22 remaining on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard. Roughriders lead 21-0 over the Elida Bulldogs. Brandon Howard, the quarterback for Elida. Sophomore. Got pressure. He's going to let it fly long, and it's incomplete. Pass was intended, I believe, to number 3, Devin Barnett. Good pressure by the backside of the St. Mary's defense. I think you'll see Trey Fisher get to him first, and he just overthrows Barnett.
yeah, pretty good coverage there by Ty Howe too. It was at least in arm's reach of the wide receiver. Made sure that he didn't just run free down the field.
It'll be 4th down and 6, and Elida will punt the football, and the punt is off, and it will come to Troglin. Troglin will take it at the 50, cross to the 45. He's coming to the right side of the field. He's dragging an Elida defender, and he's finally brought down on the Elida 43-yard line. So St. Mary's will have the football one more time, again in Elida territory. 21-0 on our St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard. Riders on top, 48 seconds remaining here in the first quarter.
I'd imagine the coaches are talking to the players about making sure that they have dry towels. Don't want to fumble at this point. They've got a nice lead. You don't want to let Elida back into it for any turnover like that.
But he's going to throw the football. He's got Knorr all alone down the middle, but he doesn't see him. Now he may be able to see him. He's scrambling. You got a flag on the play. Could be possibly a hold. He's running with the football, and Kurt Bupp will get to the Elida 36-yard line before he was brought down. Good job by Kurt Bupp, the senior.
Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like that probably was a hold, and it was about 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage, so that's going to bring him back.
On Elida?
Offsetting penalties is being called by the officials on the field.
Yeah, they called a block in the back on St. Mary's.
And a defensive hold for Elida, I believe.
Right.
So we're going to get a do-over.
Sure, the only one upset about that do-over was probably Kurt Bupp because he had to run about 30 yards back and forth across the field.
So we got receivers to the right, one to the left. Kurt Bupp calling the signals. He'll turn. He'll give the ball to Wedding. Wedding busts to the 30, to the outside. He's got a blocker. Cuts back across the field, and he is tackled down at the Elida. We'll call it just short of the 10-yard line.
Looks like another trap up the middle. They put Wedding back at fullback, which gives him even more speed. He's able to hit that hole real quick. So certainly coaches from St. Mary's are seeing that middle must be wide open in certain formations against Elida.
Good job, Ethan Freewalt down on the down the field with a good block. So that's the end of the first quarter with the score on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard. It is the St. Mary's Roughriders 21 and the Elida Bulldogs nothing. We'll take this break. We'll come back with the second quarter right after this.
Unique Awards and Signs. Here to take care of your signage, graphic, awards, and gift customization needs. From banners for your graduation or corporate sponsors to awards recognizing those dedicated employees or champion sports teams. Stop in at 1865 Salina Road and see how we can help. Call us at 419-394-1612.
Vogel's Bake Shop, making thousands of donuts daily. Open 7 days a week with stores in St. Mary's, Salina, and Walpaw. And while we got this opportunity, it's time now for our Big Ralph Ryder replay, and it is being brought to you by our friends at Guarneri Pizzeria. Stop in and see them. That's Guarneri's. Give them a call at 419-394-2244. Hope you enjoy this edition of our Big Ralph Ryder replay.
Here we go. 27-yard field goal attempt. They line it up. Elston will hold. Good snap. Get it down. It is on its way. It is good. It is good. With 5 seconds left, the St. Mary's Roughriders have kicked a 27-yard field goal from Greg Yingling to give them an 11-8 lead here at Bath Stadium. They're going nuts over there.
Well, Greg Yingling, I tell you what, one of the finer kickers that the Roughriders have had over the years. Back to action. There's a touchdown by Aiden Hinkle.
Just another run up the middle, Joe. I don't think he was touched.
Boy, and just like that, and the Riders score again, 27-0.
And we have another fireball here on the field. For those of you that are listening at home, we have fireworks and fireballs after every score here by the Roughriders. I hope that they brought enough for all of the touchdowns that we might have tonight, Joe.
Brandon Bowers' point after is good. So the Roughriders score again on an Aiden Hinkle's touchdown run. And with 11:55 remaining here in the second quarter, it's the St. Mary's Roughriders 28, the Elida Bulldogs nothing on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard. We'll take a break. We'll come right back right after this. TSC is an independent telephone company that has been serving Wapakoneta, Cridersville, and surrounding areas with phone service since 1895. In 2003, we made history by expanding all of our offerings into the city of St. Mary's. We are dedicated to bringing our customers state-of-the-art technology and services with a hometown flair for individual customer care. We encourage you to stop in and see us at 155 East High Street in St. Mary's and check out the products and services that TSC can provide. Back at Grand Lake Health Systems Field, where the Roughriders will kick off once again, and this kickoff is being brought to you by your State Farm agent, Lori Yelton. Be a legend. Ensure your life. Kick is kicked into the end zone, so there will be no run back on this one.
Good catch by Marcel Poe of that ball in the end zone, but can't bring it out anyway.
Good kick by Bowers, and you always like to see that when you get a chance to kick it into the end zone. And
yeah, what a tool to have.
Absolutely.
To be able to rely on your kicking team to put it consistently on the 20-yard line like that. As we saw from the beginning of the game, you don't want to – a lot of momentum can go when a team runs a kickoff back. So being able to take it all the way into the end zone from a kicking team is a great way to prevent any kind of momentum swing.
Well, Elida with a 1st and 10 run will get the ball out to the – we'll call it the
23, I think.
20, we'll call it the 29-yard line. It's just shy of the 30.
Larkin Henderson, the ball carrier, gain of 9, second down and 1.
Looks like we got some new players coming in the game for Elida there. That was a number 23, Larkin Henderson. And new quarterback, too.
5's on the run. 23.
I wonder if this is Spivey. I mean, I got the starting lineups earlier this week, and all indication was that Marshawn Spivey was going to be the starting quarterback, and we have yet to see him unless this is him now, but I'm not sure this is him either. Well, Elida picks up the 1st down. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Elida Bulldogs at the ball setting at their own 31-yard line.
5, I think.
I think that might be Spivey.
23.
No, it's number 13, isn't it, on the carry?
23, I think.
23?
Larkin Henderson, I
Okay,
believe.
you're right, Larkin Henderson. So Larkin Henderson is your new quarterback, and he is a freshman. So it'll be second down. We'll call it 1 for the Elida Bulldogs. Henderson is your quarterback, just a freshman for the Elida Bulldogs. He'll stand in the shotgun formation. He's got a man in motion. He'll give it to him. It's Devin Barnett on the carry.
Devin Barnett with the carry.
Yeah, you just wonder. I don't know if Elida coaches decided, hey, let's see who else we can put in at quarterback, and 28-0. We got to try something different, I guess. Maybe there's an injury, I don't know, but
could very well have been. No gain on the play. We'll call it 1st and 10 for Elida. Henderson, the quarterback. There's 2 backs beside him, one on the right, one on the left. Play comes to the right, and that's Barnett again, I believe, and he'll get maybe a yard, if that. So we'll call it 2nd down and 9.
Marcel Poe's ball carrier. Initially stopped by 43, brought down by 35.
Well, I'll tell you what, you think these numbers are hard to see. Wait till Bath comes rolling.
That's right. That's right. The baby blue
jerseys with light yellow numbers.
Well, and you have number 5 for Elida and number 3, Devin Barnett and Marcel Poe. Very similar looking, and the 3 and the 5 look very similar on the jersey as well.
This is Barnett on the sweep to the left. He'll get to the 45-yard line. He's brought down there by Blake Knorr with a big tackle. But nonetheless, give him a gain of about 11. We'll call it 1st and 10 for Elida, and Elida is in St. Mary's territory. They'll set the ball down at the Rough Rider 44-yard line.
Yeah, great pursuit by Blake Knorr. Never gave up on the play. Unfortunately, that tackle came about 10 yards down the field.
8:50 remaining here in the second quarter on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard. Henderson calls signals. He got 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. He sends a man in motion. He bobbles the football. He's looking deep. He's got pressure. Trey Fisher missed him, and then here comes Lucas Walters with support, and he's going to tackle him for about a 1-yard loss. Good pressure by Trey Fisher.
Yeah, and a great job by Lucas Walter to come in there afterwards and make sure that the Elida quarterback didn't gain any ground there, because he did slip out of that first pressure from Trey Fisher.
26, 7.
Henderson all by himself behind his center. He's got a man in motion. He'll take it right up the middle. Henderson is stuffed right there by Lucas Walter and also number 77. That happens to be Hunter Fultz.
Yeah, great job by Hunter Fultz of staying low and getting into him and getting them wrapped up. And then Lucas Walter comes over the top and puts a pretty big hit on him.
So we'll call it 3rd down and 10. The ball still at the Rough Rider 44-yard line. Clock is ticking. It's 7:25 remaining here on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard. Henderson in the shotgun position once again. He's going to roll to his right. He's got a back for the option. He'll pitch it. He'll pitch it to Poe. Poe crosses the 40 and is brought down by
looks like number 59.
Number 59, that's Trace Mabry. Blake Knorr in on the tackle, and also Ty Howell. A light rain continues to fall here at Grand Lake Health System Field.
Pretty clearly a situation where you're going to go for it on 4th down.
I would think so. Ball at the Rough Rider 40-yard line. 4th down, we'll call it 6. Elida's elected to go for it here on 4th down. 6:30 remaining here in the first quarter. Here comes a blitz, and he's looking for a receiver, and he has got him, and is brought down by Blake Knorr and Lucas Walter. We'll see who the receiver is on the play. Nice catch by Colin Smith for Elida.
Howard's pass.
Yeah, they sent Tanner Howell on a blitz. Timed it up really nice. Got through the line, but he was picked up very nice by number 5, Marcel Poe. Picked up the blitz, gave the quarterback enough time to find that very tall receiver out there. And Elida got the first down, converted that fourth.
First down and 10. Ball setting on the St. Mary's 29-yard line. Poe in motion. Henderson right back up the middle with it. He'll get across the 25-yard line where he is brought down by a host of Roughriders. Blake Canor, Walder, Trey Fisher all in on the stop for St. Mary's. Give him a gain of 4. We'll call it second down and 6.
Yeah, the defense got to be careful to not let Elida back in this game. Got to tighten up on some of these and take away some of these passes that they're getting.
46.
Larkin Henderson, your quarterback, rolls right. He'll hand the ball to Poe. Marcel Poe will sweep to the right. He cuts back. He's inside the 5. He's spin move, and he's down to about the 2-yard line. Nice run by Marcel Poe, the 5'9" senior for the Elida Bulldogs, and they'll have the football first and goal at the Rough Rider 1-yard line.
Yeah, there's a host of riders out there, and they had a few missed tackles on that play. And then at the end of the play, they had him wrapped up, and they just let him spin for a few more extra yards there. So not going to like to watch that in when they check out the video this week, film session.
Absolutely. Henderson still in the shotgun formation. We've got a timeout on the field called by the Elida Bulldogs with 4 minutes and 53 seconds remaining here in the first half. It's 28-0 on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard. We'll take us quick break. We'll come right back with more right after this.
Guarneri's Pizzeria. Guarneri's on Spring Street, home of the signature Big Ralph sub, pizza, and calzone. Come try our thirst-quenching Riderade before, during, and after the game. Tonight is the last night for live music, and we're going out with a bang. Stop in after the game and party with Free Rider. It's Guarneri's. Give them a call, 419-394-2244.
Varsity Lanes in St. Mary's, home of the Rough Riders 2018-2019 Boys and Girls State Bowling Champions. Striking up delicious food, 32 taps, Queen of Hearts, and nightly food and drink specials, as well as great family atmosphere. Also remember that carryouts are available. Stop in and see them after the game, and go Rough Riders. Back at Grand Lake Health Systems Field, Joe Hurlbert along with Zach Farrell with the Elida Bulldogs will go first and goal from the Rough Rider 1-yard line, and Marcel Poe tries to jump over the offensive line. He's going to be stopped short of the goal line, I believe.
I think ball
Rough
came
Riders
out.
came loose.
Yeah, it looks like Marcel Poe, he tried to jump over the pile, and as he was doing it, he was holding the ball out in front of him, and one of the riders just kind of swatted it out of his hand and fell on it.
Not really sure.
Who
fell on the football.
Looks like maybe number 6, Ethan Wedding.
So the ball was recovered in the end zone by the Rough Riders. And so now they'll get the football first and 10 at their own 20-yard line. So
really insult to injury there for Elida. You're down 28-0. You're about to at least put some points on the board and fumble into the end zone.
Kurt Bupp will turn. He'll give it to Hunter Fraley. Hunter runs off his right side. He'll give him a gain of about, we'll call him 5 yards on the play. We'll call it second down and 5. Kurt Bupp jogs to the sideline. He'll get the play from head coach Doug Fry. Rough Riders lead 28-0 on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard. 4:18 remaining here in the first half.
Tell you what, though, you like to see that it's 28-0, but the O-line and the players are still playing pretty hard out there. They're not letting up on them.
Counter back with Ty Howell. He picks up a gain of about 3. We'll call a third down and 3 for St. Mary's.
Gain of 2, third down and 3.
A lot of seniors out there. They only have a few more of these games left, so it's good to get your money's worth, so to speak, Joe.
Absolutely. So it'll be 3rd down and 3. Ball on the Rough Rider 27-yard line. Give it to Wedding. Wedding will bounce outside, and second effort, he may be close to the first down. We'll have to wait and see where they spot the football.
Just depends where they put it.
They're going to move the chains, so it'll be 1st and 10 for the Rough Riders on their own 30-yard line. Want to remind everybody you can watch the replay of this ball game on TSC TV channel 702 and 13.1. The game will begin airing Monday morning at 10 a.m. Bup under center. Stop, drop. This is the hook and ladder. Here goes Troglin. Troglin's going to take it down to the sideline. He's to the 30, to the 20s. Nobody's going to catch him. 5. Touchdown, Rough Riders. This is a statistician's nightmare because you have to include the catch.
Yep, you have
what's the Freewalt? Freewalt flips it back to Troglin, and he takes it to the house.
The hook and ladder, Joe.
70 yards on the play. And the Rough Riders extend their lead 34-0.
Well designed and even better, well executed.
Bowers with the point after, and it is good. So with 2 minutes and 53 seconds remaining here in the first half on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard, it's the St. Mary's Rough Riders 35 and the Elida Bulldogs nothing. We'll be back right after this.
Unique Awards and Signs, here to take care of your signage, graphic, awards, and gift customization needs. From banners for your graduation or corporate sponsors to awards recognizing those dedicated employees or champion sports teams. Stop in at 1865 Salina Road and see how we can help. Give us a call, 419-394-1612. Vogel's Bake Shop. Vogel's Bake Shop, making thousands of donuts daily. Open 7 days a week with stores in St. Mary's, Salina, and Walpock. Also, now found in Wagner IGA stores in New Bremen, Minster, and Fort Laramie. Vogel's Bake Shop.
All righty, this kickoff is being brought to you by your State Farm agent, Laura Yelton. Be a legend, ensure your life. Marcel Poe takes it at the 5-yard line. He'll bring it to the 20. And he is brought down there by great special teams play. Tanner Howell down in on the tackle. Also, number 20 is in on the tackle for the Rough Riders. That's Ross Henshin. We've seen Ross this year play a little bit of fullback for the Rough Riders.
That's right, and it's good to see him that he's on special teams, putting in good work there. Looked like Dylan Giesecke got in there at the end, too.
35-0 on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard. We still have the same quarterback in for Elida. We got somebody different this time.
It looks like it's number 23 again.
There's Henderson's pass is complete.
Larkin Henderson's pass complete
To number 5, Marcel Poe.
It wasn't a great thrown ball, Joe, but Poe was unfortunately so wide open that it didn't matter. He was able to put it under it. He caught it about the 50-yard line and got taken down about the 40.
Just got behind the St. Mary's defense, and nice play by the Elida Bulldogs. They'll have it 1st and 10 in Rough Rider territory. The football will be at the St. Mary's, we'll call it the 42-yard line. Larkin Henderson, the quarterback, and he is going to be brought down by number 35, Tanner Howell.
Great job by Tanner Howell. Comes flying across the line there, and it looks like the quarterback was maybe trying to pitch it, but Tanner Howell wrapped him up so well he didn't have an opportunity to.
Loss of about 7 for Elida. We'll call it 2nd down and 17. for the Elida Bulldogs. We're under 2 minutes at 1:40 seconds remaining here in the first half. Larkin Henderson still the quarterback. Henderson's just a freshman, so he's getting a little bit of action under the lights on Friday night. Henderson pulls it down, and he is going to be brought down by Trey Fisher. Good job by Trey Fisher staying at home and didn't chase anybody down the line. He just stayed at home, and sooner or later, Larkin Henderson ran right to him.
Yeah, Larkin Henderson had a lot of space, too, on that left side. Trey Fisher did a great job of catching back up to the play because Larkin Henderson might have been running for 10 or 15 yards there before somebody touched him.
One of the things the Rough Rider defense has done, Zach, is that earlier in the year, I believe against Walpock, they put Blake Knorr in a linebacker position. They've got him back down where he's a little bit more comfortable on the D line, and he's doing a great job. Trey Fisher gets the ball's loose, but it's picked up by the Elida Bulldogs, who's recovered by Marcel Poe. Good job by Trey Fisher, I believe, who chased him down.
Yeah, the Elida quarterback tried to pass it, and Trey Fisher just knocked the ball right out of his hand as he brought the ball back to throw it.
Good alert play by Marcel Poe. It'll bring up fourth down and about 15 yards for the Elida Bulldogs. You know, I think what Bill Speller's philosophy is right now, we have nothing to lose.
Right.
We have absolutely nothing to lose. So with 39 seconds remaining, Henderson will throw it out to the right to his receiver,
number 26.
Number 26.
Gunnar Kuhn.
Gunnar Kuhn on the reception for Elida, but he's way short of a first down. And the Elida Bulldogs will give it up on downs, and the Rough Riders will have it first and 10 at their own 47-yard line. We'll see if the Rough Riders elect to take a knee and run the clock out. Doesn't look that that's going to be the case. The Rough Riders want more. Two receivers split to the right. But he's going to pull it down and run. He's crossed the 45 to the 50. He's knocked out of bounds, and there will be another flag, or it should be another flag.
Wow.
And
no flag.
No flag. No flag, and they tackled him 3 yards out of bounds. Well, there you go. There's one for rules of the game.
There we go. He didn't make the contact inbound, so I think Mark might say, well, he couldn't just let him go there, but it looked to me like they're a little extracurricular out of bounds.
Bupp all by himself in the shotgun. He'll give the ball to Knorr. Knorr to the 40, to the 40, 35 to the 30, inside the 30-yard line, brought down at about the 27-yard line. So it'll be first and 10 for the Rough Riders, a 29-yard gain for the Rough Riders on that pass completion from Bupp to Knorr.
Yeah, it looks like what's going on is it looks like maybe Coach Fry wanted to get some practice out of the shotgun here for his offense. On one hand, you get a little bit of practice on some of these plays that you might not normally have an opportunity to, and on the other hand, you put some film out there for some of the other teams that you're going to play that they know that they have to practice for this as well as your traditional wing T offense. How about that? Blake Knorr getting a catch there.
Absolutely.
A nice little screen right up the middle.
Well, I have no idea what this is all about.
Okay, I think what it was there is roughing the passer and on the defense, but a legal man downfield on the offense, and they offset.
So they'll offset, and we'll have a do-over for the Rough Riders. But nonetheless, it was a good play for the Rough Riders. Unfortunately, it's going to come back. We've got a timeout on the field called by the St. Mary's Rough Riders with 15 seconds remaining on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard here in the first half. It's the Rough Riders 35 and the Elida Bulldogs nothing. We'll be back right after this. Fellowship of Christian Athletes is a middle school and high school club looking to spread God's love throughout numerous schools and communities in our local area. FCA's favorite play of the game is when both teams come together at the end of the game to pray. FCA, making a difference in the lives of our student athletes. God bless you sports fans.
Allgaze Equipment Rental is your source for all of your equipment needs. Whether you're a contractor or a homeowner with a project, we can help you get the job done more efficiently. Check us out at 1900 Salina Road in St. Mary's or allglazeequipmentrental.com, or give us a call, 419-394-7883. Allgaze Equipment Rental. Stop in and see them today.
Alrighty, back at Grand Lake Health System Field, Joe Hurlbert alongside Zach Farrell. 16 seconds remaining. Rough Riders want more. Kurt Bupp in the shotgun. He's got receivers to the right. He's looking deep. He's going to pull it down and run. He's to the 45, and he's run out of bounds at about the 41-yard line of Elida. 9.9 seconds remaining.
Looked like a carbon copy of the play that we saw a couple plays ago where he got tackled maybe a little bit late out of bounds.
Carson Fishbach was running the deep route on the right side. He was not able to get open, and good job by Kurt Bupp of recognizing that and just keeping the football and running. Kurt Bupp drops the football, and he's in trouble, but he eludes one Elida defender, and he's going to let it go, and he throws it out of bounds with 0.7 seconds remaining here in the first half. So the Rough Riders are going to get one more playoff before the first half comes to a close.
Unfortunately, I think they called
intentional
grounding.
Well, if it's intentional grounding, it'll be loss of down for sure.
That might be a runoff.
It could very well be.
Penalty is intentional grounding against the Rough Riders. I mean, lost it down.
Yep, loss of down. And if it's a runoff, that'll be the end of the first quarter. So they're going to move the ball back.
Haven't indicated a runoff yet, so there's another rules of the game, Joe. I got to talk to Mark Sisko. Of course, we have those rules of the game in the Doug Fry Show on your Rider Nation station every Thursday night. That gets posted to our YouTube page.
0.7 of a second remaining. Kurt Bupp in the shotgun. Stands. He's looking deep. He's going to let it fly for Dylan Troglin, and it's going to be almost intercepted. Good job there by Troglin, turning defensive back and knocking the ball out of the defensive back's hands. So,
yeah, I guess that's St. Mary's version of a Hail Mary there.
It is. That's going to conclude the first half here at Grand Lake Health System Field, where the score on our St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard is the St. Mary's Rough Riders 35 and the Elida Bulldogs nothing. We'll take this break. We'll come back. We'll analyze the first half with Mark Huber. He's supposed to be joining me here shortly. We'll do that and more as we continue right after this.
Albert Sporting Goods, located in downtown St. Mary's, takes pride in serving retail and team customers throughout the area and the state of Ohio. Our products consist of individual and team equipment for all community organizations, club teams, high school, and collegiate sports. Our on-site services include embroidery, screen printing, digitizing, and graphic design. For all your sporting good needs, stop in at Albert Sporting Goods, 121 West Spring Street in St. Mary's. Guarneri's Pizzeria. Guarneri's on Spring Street, home of the signature Big Ralph sub, pizza, and calzone. Come try our thirst-quenching Riderade before, during, and after the game. Tonight is the last night for live music, and we're going out with a bang. Stop in after the game and party with Freerider. It's Guarneri's. Give them a call, 419-394-2244.
All righty, we welcome you back once again to Grand Lake Health System Field. Joe Hurlbert alongside Zach Farrell, where we are at halftime. And the score on our St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard is the St. Mary's Rough Riders 35 and the Elida Bulldogs nothing. Let's take a look quickly as how the Rough Riders put up their 35 points in the first half. In the first quarter with 11 minutes and 43 seconds remaining, Ty Howell took the opening kickoff, went 90 yards for a touchdown, and St. Mary's led 6-0. A Brandon Bowers point after touchdown was good. And with 11:43 remaining in the first quarter, Riders led 7-0. With 8 minutes and 13 seconds remaining, There was a 46-yard touchdown run by Ethan Wedding, gave the Rough Riders a 13-0 lead. The Brandon Bowers point after touchdown was good, and the Rough Riders led 14-0. Then a 4-yard Ethan Wedding run with 2 minutes and 37 seconds remaining in the first quarter gave the Rough Riders a 20-0 lead. The point after touchdown by Bowers was good, and the Rough Riders led 21-0. Then in the second quarter, an 11-yard Aiden Hinkle run gave the Rough Riders a 26-0 run. And the point after touchdown once again was good by Bowers, and the Rough Riders led 27-0. With 2 minutes and 53 seconds remaining in the first half, a 70-yard hook and ladder play to Troglin, and he took it to the house, and the Rough Riders led 34-0, and the point after touchdown again was good by Bowers, and the Rough Riders led 35-0, which is what the score is here at halftime. Joining me once again, as we did a few weeks back, is Mark Huber. Mark, we're going to analyze a little bit of the first half. What was your assessment?
No, this is really a tough game for both sides. I mean, appears to be a real mismatch, but Elida did show a little life there for a little bit. They're trying to utilize their skilled players, some speed. St. Mary's, adjusted. Had they gotten that touchdown, I'm not saying to make a difference in the ball game, but it would have given them a little bit of excitement, and then turn around. St. Mary's, we come back and we score right away, and that's just that's really deflating.
It would have made the game 35-7.
Yeah, that's probably true, but you never know. Something that these young kids for Elida need is some little hope, little inspiration, and scoring a touchdown at that point. But boy, getting that close and then losing in the end zone, and that's hard.
I'm not sure if anybody's heard along Press Row, but the starter that I got at quarterback to start was Spivey. I have not seen Spivey. I've not seen him on the field. I don't know what has happened to him. And, of course, they start young kids, a sophomore quarterback, and then they got the freshman in there at Henderson. So,
yeah, last I saw, he was standing on the sideline. Had his uniform on, but no pads. I haven't heard the story. If something happened in pregame, coming into the game, I was expecting to see a lot of him. I was looking forward to seeing him. He's very athletic. As a track coach, I get to see him run the hurdles, and he placed 9th in the state in the hurdles, and he won the WBL in the 110s. And you're thinking this is something that is going to give St. Mary's a look, and just another difficult time for that team.
Well, and keep in mind though, Spivey was also a senior.
Yeah.
So you take a senior out of the starting lineup, you lose a little bit of leadership there, and so maybe it's throw things in a tizzy for the offense for the Elida Bulldogs. But nonetheless, the Rough Riders. My question to Doug Fry was this week on his show was this: you had a big emotional win last week against Kenton. Elida comes in 0-6 overall. How do you keep your ball club up? I think that question's been answered.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was a concern of mine, coming in today is, will we have a letdown? I wrote in with Russ Bailey, and we had that conversation on the way in. It's, a huge emotional win, like you said, last week. And, Elida, you never know. And at the time, I didn't know that Spivey wasn't playing. And you thought,
absolutely,
we do things wrong. It could be a different ball game. But, I think that the team has answered and solidified the fact that, they're ready to play ball.
Well, in the Western Buckeye League, obviously we talked about that in our pregame show. The Rough Riders need some help, and I haven't heard any scores here along Press Row, but the big one is Shawnee at OG tonight. OG is 5-0 in the Western Buckeye League, and Shawnee, even though they're 2-3, they can upset some people if they play well.
Shawnee, absolutely. The last I looked just before I walked over. It looked like OG was up at least 7-0. It's going to be a tough game for Shawnee. They're reeling a little bit with some injuries, trying to get refocused. They had a few wins and then took some losses, and it's hard for that team to recover. But they do have that opportunity, do have that chance. But we do need we need a lot of help.
Need a lot of help right now. And as far as the computer rankings are concerned, the Roughriders in Division III, Region 12, sit at 4th. So if everything shakes out and they remain in the top 4, they will host the first round of the playoffs, and then we go from there. So, Mark, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. We'll talk to you at the end of the game as we wrap things up. So thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
All righty. Let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll have statistics with Zach and that and more as our halftime show continues here from Grand Lake Health Systems Field, where the Roughriders lead the Elida Bulldogs 35-0 on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard. Varsity Lanes in St. Mary's, home of the Roughriders 2018-2019 Boys and Girls State Bowling Championships. Striking up delicious food with 32 taps, Queen of Hearts, and nightly food and drink specials, as well as great family atmosphere. Also remember that carryouts are available. Stop in and see us after the game, and go Roughriders. Here to take care of your signage, graphic, awards, and gift customization needs, it's Unique Awards and Signs. From banners for your graduation or corporate sponsors to awards recognizing those dedicated employees or champion sports team. Stop in at 1865 Salina Road and see how we can help you with your custom needs, or give them a call at 419-394-1612. Unique Awards and Signs. Welcome back to Grand Lake Health Systems Field. Joe Hurlbert alongside Zach Farrell, where the Roughriders lead. Homecoming 2019 here at Grand Lake Health Systems Field. And again, before we go any further, we want to congratulate Allie Vanderhorst, who is the daughter of Jason and Sheila Vanderhorst. She is the 2019 Memorial High School Homecoming Queen for this year. So congratulations to her. Zach has got the statistics on the first half. So, Zach?
Yeah, Joe, not as one-sided as you might imagine, actually. First downs, St. Mary's had 10. Elida had 7. Total yards, St. Mary's with 245. Elida with 132. Passing completion, St. Mary's was 1 for 3 with 1 touchdown. Of course, that was on that hook and ladder. And Elida was 5 for 9 with 1 interception. Passing net yards then for St. Mary's was 70. Elida 61. St. Mary's had 19 rushes for 175 yards to Elida's 21 rushes for 71 yards. Fumbles, St. Mary's, of course, didn't have any. Elida has had 2 fumbles and 1 loss. Penalties, St. Mary's has had 2 penalties for 24 yards. Elida 1 for 15 yards. Certainly a lot different than last week, Joe, where Kenton had over 100 yards in penalties and St. Mary's had 40. I'm not quite seeing a lot cleaner game tonight as far as penalties are concerned. Third down conversions, St. Mary's was 2 for 3. Elida just 1 for 6. And punts, St. Mary's has had no punts, and Elida has had 2 punts for 60 yards. Average drive starting for St. Mary's at the 41-yard line, and Elida at the 23-yard line. That certainly made a big difference so far. And then time of possession, St. Mary's with only 7 minutes and 48 seconds. Elida with 16 minutes, 12 seconds time of possession. So really, by looking at those stats, you definitely see that St. Mary's has had bigger plays, better position on the field for scoring, and has made a lot less mistakes. But overall yardage, not as different as you might expect for a 35-0 score.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have more as our halftime show continues right after this. If you're looking to renovate your home, former Rough Rider football standout Craig Hewer is your go-to man. Hewer Renovating is an all-phase residential specialist with over 40 years experience and an A-plus Better Business Bureau rating. Improve your investment by giving Hewer Renovating a call at 419-394-8643. St. Mary's Memorial All Brass Marching Band performing for this crowd here at Grand Lake Health Systems Field. Zach? You got individuals?
Yeah, we want to go over some of the individual stats here for St. Mary's. Passing, Kurt Bupp was the only one that's attempted to pass tonight. I think we had 2 or 3 St. Mary's players that attempted passes against Kitten, but Kurt Bupp has 1 completion, 3 attempts, and a 70-yarder, though, for a touchdown. For rushing, we have number 6, Ethan Wedding, with 7 rushes for 102 yards, a 48-yard as a longest rush, and 2 touchdowns. He is averaging right now 14.6 yards per carry.
It's not bad.
Now, Kurt Bupp, the quarterback, has rushed 4 times just for 16 yards. He had a nice 7-yard run and gotten some pivotal first downs with those runs. He's averaging 4 yards per carry. We have Hunter Fraley at fullback with 3 rushes for 32 yards. His longest, though, was a 27-yard run early on. He's averaging 10.7 yards a carry. And then we have Ty Howell, 3 rushes for only 2 yards. Had a long of 5 yards. He's had, unfortunately, a couple that were negative, so that's netted him only 2 yards and averaging 0.7 yards per carry. And then for receiving for the Roughriders, we have Ethan Freewalt with that 1 catch for 4 yards on that hook and ladder. And we have Dylan Troglin with a catch and a TD for 66 yards on that. So interesting the way that looks on the stats there with that hook and ladder.
Yeah,
but
absolutely. All righty, we're going to take another break here from our exclusive sponsor, Hewer Renovating, and we'll be right back with more as halftime continues from Grand Lake Health System Field, where the Roughriders lead 35-0 on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard. Hewer Renovating is an all-phase residential specialist with over 40 years experience and an A-plus Better Business Bureau rating. If you're looking to renovate your home, former Rough Rider football standout Craig Hewer is your go-to man. Improve your investment by giving Hewer Renovating a call at 419-394-8643. Once again, back at Grand Lake Health Systems Field, Joe Hurlbert alongside Zach Farrell. You pretty much got them wrapped up. Statistics?
Yeah, I think so for now.
And
but
you by any chance found any scores in the Western Buckeye League?
Absolutely. That's what I wanted to talk about next. Actually, some surprises out there.
Really?
Have to look it up. But Wapakoneta is only leading Bath 7-3 at halftime.
That's a shocker.
Yeah. Ottawa Glandorf 10-0 at half over Shawnee. So that still, kind of think of maybe a toss-up could go either way. You have actually the Defiance Bulldogs over Salina, 21-14 at halftime.
And keep in mind, Defiance comes into the ball game with a 1-4 league mark, 1-5 overall. Salina's 2-3 and 3-3 overall. So, again, as we talked about, you have some more scores, but St. Mary's needs some help at the top if they want to four-peat, so to speak, in the Western Buckeye League. And there's some close games around the league.
Well, you have Kitten maybe burning off a little of the frustration from last week. Unfortunately for Van Wert, Kitten's up 34-7 at half. A little surprising there. I thought Van Wert might give him more of a game, but like I said, the way that Kitten's kind of rolling here with that, seems like their quarterback's really in a rhythm, in a groove.
We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have more as our halftime show continues from Grand Lake Health Systems Field, where the Rough Riders lead on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard 35-0 over the Elida Bulldogs. If you're looking to renovate your home, former Rough Rider football standout Craig Hewer is your go-to man. Hewer Renovating is an all-phase residential specialist with over 40 years experience and an A-plus Better Business Bureau rating. Improve your investment by giving Hewer Renovating a call at 419-394-8643.
Well, Joe, I don't know if we had a chance tonight to announce the offense for St. Mary's, the starters. They got started so quick there.
Oh, yeah.
So let's go ahead and give the offensive starters a shout-out now. We have at left tackle, number 76, a junior, Gavin Ward. At left guard, number 52, a sophomore, Stash Patterson. At center, number 62, senior Riley Swire. At right guard, number 56, senior Logan Allen. At right tackle, number 65, junior Morgan Sewer. And at tight end, we saw the catch that was unfortunately taken back, number 97, senior Blake Knorr. At split end, we have number 9, sophomore Gavin Reinecke. At quarterback, we have number 2, senior Kurt Bupp. At halfback, we have number 6, junior Ethan Wedding. At fullback, we have number 29, junior Hunter Fraley. And at other halfback, we have number 12, senior Ty Howe. Of course, we're seeing number 50, Devin Shannon, rotate in there at tackle. We're seeing number 20, sophomore Ross Henson, rotate in at fullback. Number 3, Aiden Hinkle, rotate in. Of course, as freshman. He's gotten some time at halfback. On the extra points, we have Kurt Bupp as the holder, and of course Henry Spencer, number 86, as the kicker. I do know that on that last extra point there, Kurt Bupp did a great job of handling a snap that was bobbled, getting it down, and getting that extra point. And for punts, of course, we have number 83 tonight, Brandon Bowers. Fortunately, hasn't had to be used yet, and hopefully won't for the rest of the game.
Well, we've got a 35-0 score. Now, again, my question to you will be this. Keep in mind, running clock with anything over 30. So we'll keep an eye on the clock here in the second half. I didn't notice it in the first half, did you?
No, we learned in Rules of the Game this year that they did introduce the running clock in the first half, but it requires the other coach to okay it. So I didn't notice it was running. I'm assuming that either they didn't ask Elida, maybe they weren't thinking about it with the new rule, or Elida turned it down. A team like Elida with a spread offense, maybe you think, I'm not going to give up this early. I'm not going to start the clock. I don't want my players to think that we're giving up. So Mark Cisco mentioned that a couple times. He didn't think very many coaches were going to take advantage of that.
Now, in the second half, it's an automatic thing.
Correct.
It's automatic. So the running clock will be in effect to start the second half. We're going to take this break. When we come back, we'll return with the second half kickoff as the St. Mary's Roughriders and the Elida Bulldogs do battle here at the Grand Lake Health Systems Field, where the Roughriders lead on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard 35-0. If you're looking to renovate your home, former Rough Rider football standout Craig Hewer, he's your go-to guy. Hewer Renovating is an all-phase residential specialist with over 40 years experience and an A-plus Better Business Bureau rating. Improve your investment by giving Hewer Renovating a call at 419-394-8643. All righty, we welcome you back. Both teams have returned to the field in preparation of second half action. And if you ever get an opportunity, we would appreciate you to stop by our sponsors who make this broadcast and rebroadcast possible. Without them, we would not be able to do this, and Rider Nation Station thanks them, and we would like for you to do so.
Joe, on that note, I did see that Gwinnett was putting up a tent tonight for their band after the game. So even though it's raining outside, they're still going to have that party tonight. So thank you to Gwinnett and stop in.
Free Rider is playing tonight to wrap up their live music at post-game activities. So you get a chance, stop into Gwinnett's and see them and thank them for being a sponsor. Also stop in and thank Albert Sporting Goods, All Glaze Equipment Rental, Dave Weilbacher, Attorney at Law, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, Gwinnett's Pizzeria, Unique Awards and Signs, Varsity Lanes, and Vocals Bake Shop, bringing you Rough Rider football each Friday night. And on the Doug Fry Show, it's Glass Derringer Investment Management, Scott Ross Realty, Vogel Bake Shop. The rules of the game, it's Gwinnett's Pizzeria, as well as their sponsorship of the Big Ralph Rider replay. And our exclusive sponsors, thank them, the St. Mary's Foundry, for sponsoring our scoreboard, Hewer Renovating our halftime program, and Laura Yelton, State Farm Insurance Agent, for our kickoff and kickoff return.
Joe, I just talked to a couple people here at halftime. It turns out Spivey has a concussion.
Really?
So I believe Elida is on their fourth quarterback for this year.
No kidding.
It was, they're on their second head coach too. So a lot of kind of turmoil in that program. But it's good to see that the players are playing hard, and they really seem to be responding. Haven't lost composure, still fairly disciplined.
Well, that's kind of ironic because we talked about the concussion protocol this week on the Doug Fry Show and some of the things that doctors and trainers look for to obviously hold a player out of a contest like this. And, one of the things that I failed to mention, would like to mention as far as the concussions are concerned, a lot of times it's just win at all costs and put a player in just to play him. But here's the deal. My opinion is this. If you have a player and you're suffering a head injury or a concussion, don't be a hero, because this is the rest of your life. And we've seen a lot of players in the NFL, some of these players like Kenny Stabler, Frank Gifford, all suffered. Junior Seau, who was an outstanding quarterback for the San Diego Chargers, or linebacker for the San Diego Chargers, recently passed away a few years back, and it's all due to head injuries. So really, in all honesty, at this young age, don't be a hero. Go with the protocol, and if you're out 5 games, you're out 5 games. But
the rest of your life and your mental health is far more important for that.
Absolutely.
Well, it looks like the rain's coming down a little harder, Joe. It's not quite the same mist that we had earlier. It's much more of a shower because we're starting to feel it up here in the press box.
Absolutely. The wind continues to blow, a little bit breezy here at Grand Lake Health Systems Field, where the St. Mary's Roughriders will kick off, and Brandon Bowers will do the kicking for the Roughriders. And this kickoff is being brought to you by your State Farm agent, Lori Yelton. Be a legend. Insure your life. Oh, mercy. Radar doesn't look too good, does it?
Nope, and temperature has dropped from about 70 at kickoff to 61 now, so starting to see the temperatures drop and the rain fall.
Marcel Poe is back to return to kickoff. He's in the middle for the Elida Bulldogs. He is flanked by Devin Barrett, and I'm not sure who's on the far side, but
looks like number 3. Number 5 and
Poe, Barrett, and I'm not sure who the far guy is.
Yep.
So Brandon Bowser will do the kicking off for the Roughriders. He approaches, and it's not a really good particular kick. Bounces on the field, is picked up by
number 30.
Number 30. And that is Joel Peruganen. I don't know. We do our best, folks. We do our best. Peruganen, a 5'6", 140-pound senior for the Elida Bulldogs. We'll bring it out to the.
We're back to 17. 17's back out there.
It's about the 26-yard line.
26, where the Elida Bulldogs will set up shop.
And you saw the motion there by the officials. They are running the clock, so the clock is running.
We'll check and see who the Elida quarterback is, but the handoff is to Barnett. And he is tackled for a loss behind the line of scrimmage. Brandon Howard's back in at quarterback for the Elida Bulldogs.
Games now being played with the running clock for the Ohio High School Athletic Association point differential rule. The clock will be stopped after changes of possession, at the end of periods, when a score occurs, and for officials and team.
Devin Barnett was the carrier for the Elida Bulldogs. He was tackled for a loss. We'll call it second down and 13. So a loss of 3 on the previous play by Elida. Brandon Howard is the quarterback, sophomore for the Bulldogs. Calls the signals. Throws it out here to number 46. The pass was incomplete.
Howard's pass incomplete, intended for Mike Nebel.
Good job there by Troglin of getting his hand in there and knocking that ball out, because by all accounts it looked like the wide receiver had the ball, had possession, but couldn't come down with it.
So we'll call it third down and 13 for the Roughriders. Ball setting on the Elida 23-yard line. Clock will running and will continue to run because the running clock is in effect here in the second half as the Roughriders lead by more than 30 points. They lead 35-0 on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard. Howard looking for somebody to throw it to, gets it out to his wide receiver, and he's going to be shoved out of bounds for about a another 3-yard loss. So it'll bring up 4th down and about 17 for the Elida Bulldogs.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to punt here. They're too far back in their own territory not to.
Back to return the punt for the St. Mary's Roughriders, Ty Howe and Dylan Troglin. They'll be standing at their own 46-yard line.
I tell you what, Joe, in this type of rain, this is where you want to be listening to the game at the VFW or favorite establishment
Absolutely.
in town. And I think a lot of the fans are starting to head towards the exit, certainly on the Elida side.
Well, Elida didn't bring a good following to begin with, but this rain and the score is going to send them home early, I do believe. Into the ball game for the St. Mary's Roughriders is number 85. That's Brandon Bauer. No, it's not Brown Bowers. Let's see who that might happen to be. 85 in the ball game is Austin Parks. There's Hunter Fraley with a carry up the middle. He's to the 30-yard line, to the 25. He's going to be knocked out at the Elida 21-yard line. Good run by Hunter Fraley right up the middle. Good blocking up front for the St. Mary's Roughriders. Riley Swigert, Stash Patterson, Logan Allen, Gavin Ward, Morgan, and Devin Shannon, I believe, all up front. Blocking for Hunter Fraley, who picks up the first down. It'll be 1st down and 10 for St. Mary's at the Elida 21-yard line. Clock continues to roll. Bupp, give it to Henshin. Ross Henshin, ball carrier. He's in at fullback, and he'll carry the football 8 yards, and it'll be 2nd down and 2.
Definitely seeing that emphasis to keep it in the middle here all night here for the St. Mary's rushing attack. Also see number 76, Brian Ward, in the game at left tackle. So good to see that Doug Fry is able to get some of these younger guys some time.
There's Henshin. He's inside the 5.
Number 11 there's blocking really well. That's Braden Himmelgarn, sophomore.
So Coach Doug Fry starting to insert some of his younger players, getting a little bit of Friday night under the lights experience.
This is the fun time for the announcers and the stats people to start pouring through the pages here to find out who some of these people are.
There's Hemmelgarn with the carry. Braden Hemmelgarn sweeps right, touchdown for the Roughriders. We'll give him a 4-yard run. And the Roughriders are on the scoreboard again with 7:34 remaining here in the third quarter, 41-0.
Well, it's a classic-looking sweep. Guards were out in front of him, but you know what? They didn't even have to touch anybody or block anybody. He just did it himself, ran to the pylon, and was untouched there. That was just his speed taking over.
Henry Spencer will do the point after for the Roughriders. The kick is up, and it is no good. I believe it was partially blocked by the Elida Bulldogs, but with 7 minutes and 34 seconds remaining here in the third quarter, the Roughriders lead on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard by a score of 41-0. We'll take a break. We'll come back right after this.
During November 15th through 17th. Tickets will be available.
All Glaze Equipment Rental is your source for all your equipment needs. Whether you're a contractor or homeowner with a project, we can help you get the job done more efficiently. Check us out at 1900 Salina Road in St. Mary's or allglazeequipmentrental.com or give us a call, 419-394-7883. All Glaze Equipment Rental. Stop in and see them today. Albert Sporting Goods, located in downtown St. Mary's, takes pride in serving retail and team customers throughout the area and the state of Ohio. Our products consist of individual and team equipment for all community organizations, club teams, high school, and collegiate sports. Our on-site services include embroidery, screen printing, digitizing, and graphic design. For all your sporting good needs, stop in at Albert Sporting Goods, 121 West Spring Street in St. Mary's.
Back at Grand Lake Health Systems Field, 41-0. St. Mary's leads on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard. This kickoff is being brought to you by your State Farm agent, Lori Yelton. Be a legend. Insure your life. Bowers kickoff is being is picked up by number. What is the number? Number
Kickoff return.
30.
Stop. Once again.
Not going to try the name again, Joe.
No, I don't see.
Joel Peruganen.
Peruganen.
That's as good as I can do. It's probably wrong as well.
And I'll say it, and it'll be completely different. So we'll check to see who the Elida quarterback will be. The last series, it was Brandon Howard, the sophomore. It will continue to be Brandon Howard. So he'll set up the Elida offense. He'll hand it off to, I think it's number 5, Marcel Poe. And he'll gain about 1 on the play. So we'll call it second down and about 9.
Looks like we're also getting some of the maybe traditional JVers in here. We have number 67, Zeke Kohano.
I'll go with that. Elida sends 2 receivers to the right. Brandon Howard in the shotgun. 1 lone setback beside him. I think Elida wants to call timeout. So with 6:23 remaining here in the third quarter, Riders lead 41-0 on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard. We'll take another break. We'll come back right after this. Albert Sporting Goods, located in downtown St. Mary's, takes pride in serving retail and team customers throughout the area and the state of Ohio. Our products consist of individual and team equipment for all community organizations, club teams, high school, and collegiate sports. Our on-site services include embroidery, screen printing, digitizing, and graphic design. For all your sporting good needs, stop in at Albert Sporting Goods, 121 West Spring Street in St. Mary's.
Guarneri's Pizzeria. Guarneri's on Spring Street, home of the signature Big Ralph sub, pizza, and calzone. Come try our thirst-quenching Riderade before, during, and after the game. Tonight is the last night for live music, and we're going out with a bang. Stop in after the game and party with Free Rider. It's Guarneri's. Give them a call at 419-394-2244.
All righty, back here at Grand Lake Health Systems Field, Joe Hurlbut alongside Zach Farrell. The clock is running. Elida has the football. They'll find themselves second down and 9. And there's a run to Marcel Poe.
Marcel Poe, the ball carrier.
He'll gain a couple where he's brought down by a host of Rough Rider defenders.
Gain of a few.
Trey Fisher does a nice job of turning him back inside and makes is in on the tackle as well.
Yeah, and Joe, that 67 is Zeke Quijano. So I got some
Very good.
help on that one. We have number 43, Brandon Paul, also coming in. Looks like number 29, Hunter Fraley, getting some time at DN there.
Brandon Hemmelgarn will stay at one of the corners for the Rough Riders. Braden Hemmelgarn, and Hemmelgarn intercepts the pass.
28.
Right on call.
Right on cue, Braden Hemmelgarn picks off the pass of Brandon Howard. So the Rough Riders will have the football, 1st and 10. And Hemmelgarn will stay in offensively too as we get a new quarterback for the St. Mary's Rough Riders, and that's Gavin Reinecke. So it looks like Kurt Buff's evening is complete as Gavin Reinecke will take over the quarterback spot here in the third quarter. 5:12 remaining. Clock is running. Riders lead 41-0. There's a touchdown run by number 20 for the Rough Riders, and that's Ross Henson.
Actually, it looks like it's number 22.
22. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
That's Aiden Engenbrod.
Nice job of the guards pulling out here and sealing off number 51 and number 68. That's Ryan Davis and Corey Sullivan. Fortunately, it looks like we had a penalty here, though, Joe.
Well, it looks like his first career touchdown as a Rough Rider is going to be negated by a penalty.
Looks like blocking below the waist.
This is a big one.
Wow.
This will bring the ball all the way back to the Elida 39-yard line. So it'll be first down and a whole bunch for the Rough Riders. We'll call it second down and 26.
Ross Henson.
Ross Henson will take it to the house.
That is a Rough Rider touchdown.
Boy, Ross Henson
Ross Henson.
from 39 yards out will take the ball to the house for the Rough Riders.
Number 20, Ross
Untouched, Joe. Another trap right up the middle. I saw one of Elida's linebackers running completely the opposite direction from where the ball was. So great job on the fakes there by the running backs.
Here's the kick. The point after touchdown is good by number 99. That's Spencer Troglin. So Spencer Troglin into the ball game, and his point after is good. So the St. Mary's Rough Riders, with 4:44 remaining here in the third quarter, lead the Elida Bulldogs on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard, 48-0. We'll take a break. We'll come back right after this. Here to take care of your signage, graphic, and awards, and also your customization needs. It's Unique Awards and Signs. From banners for your graduation or corporate sponsors to awards recognizing those dedicated employees or champion sport teams. Stop in at 1865 Salina Road and see how we can help with your custom needs, or just give them a call at 419-394-1612. Back at Grand Lake Health Systems Field. Well, Zach, the onslaught continues.
Yep. As a Rough Rider fan, though, you get to see a lot of these younger players get in, get some valuable playing time. A lot of these players probably the first time on this field at night with the lights.
Well, it's time now to pull out the program because we're going to see a lot of player changes, so help me out when you can. This kickoff brought to you by your State Farm agent, Laura Yelton. Be a legend. Insure your life.
Spencer Troglin's kick finally gathered up.
Troglin's kick is taken by Elida, and immediately the ball carrier was brought down at the 25-yard line.
Yeah, number 8, B.J. Carter there bobbled the ball a little bit and almost gave St. Mary's the ball back, which Elida does not need that right now.
Not right now. Here in the second half, I don't believe Elida's crossed over to St. Mary's territory. So the clock continues to run.
Seeing number 24 in the game, Eugene Farrell Jr., 36, Dylan Giesige. We have a new quarterback for Elida. I think it's number 23 that played earlier.
23 back in.
23, that's Larkin Henderson. And he has been tackled for a loss by the Rough Rider defense. Good pursuit by the blue and gold. Boy, a lot of blue and gold.
Looks like number 25, Kellen Eganbrud, in on that tackle.
So it'll be second down and 10 for the Elida Bulldogs. Henderson is the quarterback, just a freshman. A lot of young players on the field at this point in time.
46.
There's a run by Nick Swartz. Well, I'm sorry, number 46. That's Mike Nibel for Elida.
Mike Nibel, ball carrier. Brought down by 2.
So we'll give him a gain of about 5. It's 3rd and 5 for the Elida Bulldogs, and they'll set the football at their own 30-yard line.
Whole host of Rough Riders in there to make that tackle, including Ross Henson and Aiden Eganbrud and Austin Parks.
Larkin Henderson, the quarterback. 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right for Elida. Got a man in motion. He'll give it to Poe. No, I'm sorry. It's Devin Barnett.
Hand off to Devin Barnett. Brought down by number 22, Aiden Eganbrod. Bulldogs are able to move the chains. First down to 10 from 35.
Good job by the Rough Rider defense. The clock continues to run. We're down to 2:08 remaining here in the third quarter. First and 10 for Elida at their own 35-yard line.
46 is way out there.
Henderson calls the signals. He's going to roll to the right. He's going to look to pitch it. He doesn't. He keeps it. And he is brought down by number 95 for the Rough Rider. That's Brandon Headley.
6'1" junior in there getting some playing time. Does a nice job of staying parallel to the line again, taking a good angle and able to take the Elida quarterback down almost for a loss, maybe
just a little bit. We'll still call it 2nd down and 10. Little to no gain, if any. Henderson, the quarterback. 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right for the Elida Bulldogs. Henderson drops straight back. He's looking for a receiver, throws it long, and the ball is caught by Barnett. Barnett to the 30, 25. He cuts across the field. He's got a blocker in front of him. He's to the 10, to the 5, and he is knocked out of bounds at the St. Mary's, we'll call it the 4-yard line, I believe.
Yep. Just a great job by number 3 for Elida, Devin Barnett, of just going up and taking the ball down. A few Rough Riders around him, but they weren't really in position to make a play on the ball, and some excellent running after the catch there. Good job, though, by Braden Himmelgarn for tracking him down. Didn't get caught up in the block.
Yeah, he didn't give up on the play and knocked him out of bounds. It'll be 1st and goal at the Rough Riders 4-yard line. We're at 15 seconds and ticking here in the 3rd quarter. 48-0 St. Mary's. Henderson's going to roll to his right, and he looks to the end zone. The pass is incomplete.
Henderson's pass incomplete.
And that's going to be the end of the 3rd quarter on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard. The St. Mary's Rough Riders 48 and the Elida Bulldogs nothing. We'll be back with the 4th and final quarter right after this.
Vogel's Bake Shop. Vogel's Bake Shop, making thousands of donuts daily. Open 7 days a week with stores in St. Mary's, Salina, and Wapak. Also found in Wagner IGA stores in New Bremen, Minster, and Fort Laramie. Visit Vogel's Bake Shop. Fellowship of Christian Athletes. The Fellowship of Christian Athletes is a middle school and high school club looking to spread God's love throughout numerous schools and communities in our local area. FCA's favorite play of the game is when both teams come together at the end of the game to pray. FCA, making a difference in the lives of our student athletes. God bless you, sports fans.
And also at this point in time, when we got a moment, it's time now for our Big Ralph Rider replay, brought to you by Guarneri's on Spring Street, home of the signature Big Ralph sub, pizza, and
handoff, looks
calzone.
over the middle, throws. It's intercepted by Van Bossler. Scott Bossler, 10, 5, and down to about the 3-yard line. Sophomore linebacker Scott Bossler stepped in front of the pass.
Well, we hope you're enjoying those Big Ralph Rider replays here on your Rider Nation station. I'll tell you what, that's there's a lot of them. We got a few more games. We'll hear a few more, but it's always a treat for me to hear those replays and those calls by the Big Ralph.
I sure do remember that one, Joe. I was a freshman in high school. I was in the band, in the marching band. We could be in the freshman football team and still be in marching band then. Had the biggest bass drum, but I loved it because I was able to check out every single game from right on the field. So Scott Vossler, of course, was a great linebacker for us. I think, started all 3 years of his high school career and was a great mentor for us younger.
Now, how's this going to work out? Because there's no time on the clock.
Touchdown, Elida.
They're going to give Elida a touchdown, but I have no idea how that works because there was literally no time on the clock. None. Oh, was it?
Okay.
Oh, while we were away listening to our Big Ralph Rider replay, there was a penalty on the play, and so they'll get it one more time, and that's what they did. So with no time on the clock, Elida scores.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what happened there either. I didn't see any penalty on the play, but must have been a penalty on St. Mary's, so they were able to do one more play there in the 3rd quarter.
Point after touchdown. Kick is low, but it's good. And so Elida is on the board for the first time as the 3rd quarter comes to an end. The St. Mary's Rough Riders lead on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard, 48-7. We'll come back with our 4th and final quarter right after this.
Following financial food and drink donations to the team. Bud Chevrolet, Big Beat Coffee.
TSC is an independent telephone company that has been serving Wapakoneta, Cridersville, and surrounding areas with phone service since 1895. In 2003, we made history by expanding all of our offerings into the city of St. Mary's. We are dedicated to bring our customers the state-of-the-art technology and services with a hometown flair for individual care. Active members of local organizations such as the St. Mary's Area Chamber of Commerce, TSC stands by its communities that it serves. We encourage you to stop in and see us at 155 East High Street in St. Mary's and check out the products and services TSC can provide.
As you exit,
Back at Grand Lake Health Systems Field, Joe Hurlbert along with Zach Farrell. We want to remind everyone that you can watch the replay of tonight's ball game on TSC TV channel 702 and 13.1 starting Monday morning at 10 a.m.
thanks for supporting.
This kickoff return is being brought to you by your State Farm agent, Lori Yelton. Be a legend. Ensure your life. Standing back to receive this kickoff is number 11, Braden Hemmelgarn. He'll be the man in the middle.
Well, as expected, Joe, most of the stands are emptying. I bet a lot of people going to Guarneri's to
Absolutely. Check out Free Rider.
check out Free Rider. Listening at all the establishments around.
And we also want to remind and clarify for the people that will watch this rebroadcast on Monday, the live entertainment ends Friday.
Friday night.
Yeah, tonight. So
If you're watching the replay, unfortunately, it's too late, but it's not too late to always check out Guarneri's.
absolutely not. And we want to remind our listeners and our viewers that we will be bringing you the audio only next week of the St. Mary's Bath football game here at Grand Lake Health Systems Field. It is the Hall of Fame game and the induction of Hall of Fame members. So we will be here with the audio version only with no video rebroadcast the following week. So join Zach and myself as we bring you Rough Rider football next Friday night as the Bath Wildcats come to St. Mary's to take on the Rough Riders. First down and 10, St. Mary's will have the ball at their own 20-yard line. A lot of new people in this contest, and there's Ross Henshin, the ball carrier. Ross will pick up a gain of about 2. We'll call it second down, and, well, we'll give him a gain of 3. We'll call it second down and 7. Kyle Kogi into the ball game for the Rough Riders. Gavin Reinecke's your quarterback for St. Mary's under center. He'll turn. He'll give the ball to Hinkle. 11. That's Braden Hemmelgarn. And Hemmelgarn's to the 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, and he'll score. Braden Hemmelgarn. Boy, and just like that, the Rough Riders have put a 54 spot on the scoreboard.
Great run. Great job by the guards pulling out there. Number 51, Ryan Davis. Number 58, Dalton Water. Center did a great job of shooting out, blocking the defenders on the inside. That was number 55, Chase Jacobs. It's great to see these younger players getting some really quality time and making the most of it.
Absolutely. Now, here's the situation that you find. Troglin's point after is good, but we're going to keep it right here. Here's a situation that you find yourself in. Your varsity players, your starters are pretty much done for the evening. You got a lot of second and third teamers playing right now, but here again, the special teams don't change. So what happened? There was no holder on the extra point, so
Right.
so Kurt Bupp had to put his helmet back on and get in there and hold it until they communicate that as who does what on special teams. I think the starters will have to do that because I also saw Ethan Wedding run in as well.
Right. You don't practice as a player. You don't practice what the game's going to be like when you're up 55-7.
Right.
The coaches, they know that they're going to rotate people in, but it's harder to figure out on the special teams, especially, are we going to stick with the starting special teams, or are we going to bring in the entire JV special teams, or are we going to put some players in there where we want? For instance, right here, it looks like they probably have the JV kickoff team in there now. So they got that set up and ready to go, but they didn't have quite everybody that they needed on the extra point.
This kickoff is being brought to you by your State Farm agent, Laura Yelton. Be a legend. Insure your life. I think the kicker for the St. Mary's Roughriders is going to be Henry Spencer, I believe. Number 86.
Henry Spencer to kick off for the Roughriders.
5'11" senior for the Roughriders will put his foot to the ball and kicks it to the left side of the field where it's picked up by the Elida Bulldogs. And they'll get it to the 30-yard line, and he's brought down about the 33-yard line.
Yeah, number 23, Zach Hesse in there, it looked like. 44, Ryan Meyer getting in there.
Tackle for the Roughriders by 23, Zach Hesse, 44, Ryan Meyer.
Also in and kickoff is Austin Parks, getting some playing time on special teams.
Shawnee, 0, Ottawa Glendorf.
Number 9, like to see your quarterback there, Gavin Reinecke, able to put his head down and make a tackle there too. Not afraid to take some hits and put some hits on other people.
Absolutely. 10 minutes remaining here in the ball game. 55-7 Roughriders. Elida has the football. And this is number 3, I think, Barnett.
Yep.
Barnett with a nice run for Elida Bulldogs. He'll cross midfield and was shoved out of bounds at about the 45-yard line by Eugene Farrell Jr. Any relation?
No relation. Spelled a little bit differently.
So Elida will have the ball 1st and 10 at the Roughriders' 46-yard line. Again, we'll check the quarterback, and it's number 23, Larkin Henderson, will be at quarterback. The freshman, he'll call the signals. He's got a lone setback beside him. We've got a flag on the field, and it's going to be delay a game. But the clock's going to continue to run.
Keep it going. They want it going. Let's go.
I think we're hearing some frustrations up here about everybody wanting to keep the clock going at this point in the game, probably.
Yeah. The 25-second clock stopped. Delay a game, 5-yard penalty, but the game clock continues.
We have number 17 in the ball game, Adam Turner.
Henderson, quarterback, fakes the handoff, rolls to his right. He's got pressure. He throws it out. It's going to go out of bounds.
Tell you what, great job by some of these younger players putting some pressure on
Absolutely.
them. We talked about earlier in the game how big some of these linemen are for Elida, and St. Mary's may have some more fresher legs, but still doing a great job of putting pressure on the quarterback, flushing them out, and keeping the 15 yards there.
Yep. That's 2nd down and 15. Ball is at the Elida 49-yard line. Barnett will be split out wide to the right. 3 receivers to the left. Pose in motion, and Henderson's going to keep it. He's at the 45-yard line, and he is tackled there by a host of Roughriders. Good job on the defense. And on the tackle, number 17, that's Adam Turner.
Got some new players into the game. Looks like number 48, Carter Liette. Number 46, Nick Schwartz.
I want to say Austin Bryant, number 90, was in on the tackle as well, I believe.
Yep. 72, Logan Rimpey.
Yep. 3rd down and 7 for Elida. Pose in motion. Henderson will fake it. He'll keep it. He'll run it right up the middle. And he'll get to the 35-yard line where he is brought down by Austin Bryant. Not before he picks up a 1st down, so the Elida Bulldogs will get a fresh set of downs. The rain continues to fall here at Rain Lake Health System Field. A few Elida faithful have remained. Of course, the Rough Rider faithful down below us have remained as well. Most of the people have exited. Shouldn't have any problems tonight exiting the facility. Oh, ball's loose on the ground, and Henderson is thrown for a loss. Good job there by the Rough Rider defense.
sack there by Jason Byrd, number 84.
Jason Byrd.
Jason Byrd, a 5'9", 170-pound sophomore. Clock continues to run. We're down to 6:20 on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard. Riders on top, 55-7.
Lots of players coming in. Riley Metz, number 16. It's like number 66. I don't have him on my list.
Number 34 came in as well. He's not on. He's not in the program. Yeah.
23.
Henderson, the ball carrier for Elida. Give him a short game. We'll call it 4th down, I believe.
61 in the game on that tackle. Also not in the program, so
we apologize for that, but
getting a lot of players in here, Joe.
Absolutely. And you know what? In all honesty, Zach, this is good experience for these kids. You know, and this will pay off dividends next year if they're sophomores and the year after if they're seniors.
Yep.
That's a lateral, and that's number 5 on the carry. That's Marcel Poe, and he's going to bust it to the 10-5 and touchdown for Marcel Poe and the Elida Bulldogs. It's a 42-yard touchdown run for Elida. Now that pass, in all honesty, was a lateral because it was behind the quarterback.
Yep. So that'll count as rushing yards.
Yep.
So, well, you could tell kind of the difference there in speed between one of Elida's first string guys and some of our second and third string guys. Just a lot of breakaway speed there once he had the ball in his hand.
Alec Ewing in to attempt the point after for Elida, who trail 55-13, 5:07 remaining. Kick is up, and the kick is good. So with 5:07 remaining in the contest on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard, the blue and gold, the Roughriders up 55-14 over Elida. We'll take this break, and we'll come back with more right after this.
All Glaze Equipment Rental is your source for all your equipment needs. Whether you're a contractor or a homeowner with a project, we can help you get the job done more efficiently. Check us out at 1900 Salina Road in St. Mary's or allglazeequipmentrental.com. Feel free to give us a call at 419-394-7883. All Glaze Equipment Rental. Stop in and see them today.
All righty, we're back at Grand Lake Health Systems Field. Joe Hurlbert alongside Zach Farrell, and this one has all been all St. Mary's from the opening kickoff on.
Yeah, we're seeing pretty much a dominant running attack by St. Mary's tonight, and just really no offense that Elida has really been able to put together until here late in the game against some of the second and third stringers. But even that, it's just been a couple big plays that they really haven't been able to put together a significant drive since that early in the first quarter.
This kickoff return is brought to you by your State Farm agent, Laura Yelton. Be a legend. Insure your life. The kickoff was a short kickoff and went to an up man, Kyle Kogi, who had the ball bounce off of his hands, but he fell on it and recovered the loose ball. So the Roughriders will have it 1st and 10 at their own 35-yard line. We'll check the backfield for you.
Looks like number 16, Riley Metz, number 5, Kyle Kogi, and number 22, Aiden Engelrud.
Kyle Kogi will be your quarterback for the Roughriders, a 6', 160-pound sophomore. He'll turn, and he'll give the football to number 17. That is Adam Turner. So Turner picks up a good run, and he's going to be short of a first down. We'll give him a gain of 9, so it'll be 2nd down and 1 for the Roughriders. 4:10 remaining here in this contest.
Great job there for some of the big guys up front. Parker Miley in there at right tackle.
22.
Ball given to Eggenbrod, and he's running down the far sideline, and he's knocked out of bounds. Kellen Eganbrod with a good run. He'll give the Roughriders a first down. Clock continues to run, even though he is pushed out of bounds.
Great block there by 58 Dalton Water, pulling out there as a left guard, and Elida defender came across the line. He picked it up nicely, gave the running back a lot of room to run there on the outside.
Kyle Kogi with the play from head coach Doug Fry. The Riders break the huddle. They're down to 3-2 on the play clock. We'll see if they get it off. They do. There's a trap by number 22. Eganbride takes it to the end zone for a touchdown.
Well, you have it again, Joe, right up the middle. It's been a big weakness on any of the Elida defenses that we've seen tonight. Great job,
Right up the middle.
number 60, Parker Miley, sealing off the linebacker really nice.
He got a good block downfield by Riley Metz to really get him into the end zone. So I believe Henry Spencer will try the point after out of the hole of Gavin Reinecke. PAT is good.
Good.
Let's check the kicker on that. It was Spencer Troglin, number 99. Not Henry Spencer. We'll keep it right here. 3:02 remaining in the contest. 62-14 Rough Riders lead. I want to remind everybody again that you can watch the replay of this ball game on TSC TV channel 702 and 13.1. They will begin airing Monday at 10 a.m. Also next Friday, the Hall of Fame game as the Bath Wildcats come to Grand Lake Health Systems Field to take on the Rough Riders. And Zach and I will be on with the audio portion only on Rider Nation Station. We'll be on the air roughly around 6:45. Also, join us this week and check out on Rider Nation Station the Doug Fry Show and the Rules of the Game with Zach and Mark Sisko.
Tell you what, Joe, we got 2 questions sent to us today.
Really?
So that's pretty exciting that we're getting some of the viewers that are out there that are sending their questions in. I know Mark loves that. He loves hearing from the public about what some of the questions are about officiating.
This kickoff is brought to you by State Farm agent Laura Yelton. Be a legend, insure your life. Poe, the ball carrier on the return.
Bulldog return.
No, Devin Barnett. I'm sorry, Devin Barnett.
Ryan Meyer.
Nice job by Ryan Meyer there of staying in front and not getting juked at all and taking down Barnett. Wrapped him up nicely.
Clock continues to run as the running clock has been in effect the entire second half. A little bit of confusion by the Elida Bulldogs. Everybody said we got motion. The ball is loose on the field. It was snapped over the quarterback's head, and it's recovered by the Elida Bulldogs.
Recovered by the Bulldogs, brings him back to the
Nasir Williams is the quarterback.
13-yard line.
I think he's the one that recovered it
He's
there
the
as
one that
running
recovered
back.
it? Okay.
Second down, 20.
New name and number for us tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. It's second down and 28. Ball is on the Elida 13-yard line.
And 17, Brandon Howard is back in at quarterback. So
All righty. Thanks, Zach.
17,
Yeah.
17.
musical quarterbacks again, Joe.
Absolutely. Brandon Howard's the quarterback. He kept the football, and he'll give him a couple.
Stuck by number 90, Austin Bryant.
So it'll bring up, let's see, third down and about 28. The ball is on the Elida 13-yard line. 1:20 remaining here in this contest.
Yeah, 90 Austin Bryant and 72 Logan Rempe got in there for that tackle.
Play clock is down to 6 seconds. Down to 3. We'll see if Elida gets it off. They do with 1 second remaining.
40 something, 33.
Well, a good job by the Elida defense there. In on the tackle, I believe, was number 44, Ryan Meyer.
I think 42 also Gavin Reithman.
Tackle on the play, 42, Gavin Reithman.
And
You're right.
84,
Gavin Reithman.
Jason Byrd again.
19 seconds on the play clock, 34 seconds on the game clock. This will most likely be the last play of the ball game. And that's going to be the end of the contest as the Elida. You can't stop the clock.
Well,
can
it's
they?
4th down, so it's a change of possession. So I think they're going to have to stop the clock.
Okay, that's it.
So there'll be more.
They're going to run it.
Okay.
Let her run. All right, so that's the end of the ball game with the St. Mary's Roughriders 62, the Elida Bulldogs 14 on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard. We'll take a break. We'll come back and wrap things up here at Grand Lake Health System Field. We'll do that and more when we come back right after this.
62, Elida 14.
If you're looking to renovate your home, former Rough Rider football standout Craig Hewer is your go-to man. Hewer Renovating is an all-phase residential specialist with over 40 years experience and an A-plus Better Business Bureau rating. Improve your investment by giving Hewer Renovating a call at 419-394-8643. Welcome back to Grand Lake Health Systems Field. Joe Hurlbert along with Zach Farrell. Well, I'm going to be joined here again by Mark Huber. We'll analyze the second half and the ball game as the St. Mary's Rough Riders come out on top by a score of 62-14. Well, Mark, in the second half, running clock took effect, and which is automatic by the OHSAA rules. But when it's all said and done, the Rough Riders got a lot of young kids in the ball game.
That is one of the positives in this situation. You know, both sides got everybody in, a lot of playing time, a lot of people, skilled players got touches, and, the linemen got to hit somebody, and that's what the game's all about. And, it's a good thing that Ohio High School went to this years ago. It's a fair situation just to, get the game going.
Absolutely. For the Rough Riders, they put 62 points on the board. I think that's the most they've put on the scoreboard this year. But again, Elida Bulldogs, I mean, I'm sure there's some things that you can learn from this ball game.
Absolutely. I talked to at halftime a couple of their coaches, and they said with the Spivey, he had a concussion this week, and they were down to their 4th quarterback, a kid that didn't even play JV quarterback. So, it was a tough situation for them. I think there's a lot of things for them to learn. Right now they may not think so, but I think there's some, experience in terms of getting out on the field, and in a Friday night situation is always a good thing.
Well, when you're a sophomore and you get to play under the lights, like you said, if they play as a sophomore, that experience tonight carries over not only to the rest of the season, but next year. Then
Absolutely.
You get more experience. And it's just something different about playing under the lights than maybe in a JV contest on Saturday morning or whatever the case may be. So good experience for the young players. They got a lot of playing time. I don't know how many series the varsity played in the second half, maybe 3 at the max, I would think. And then they were pretty much done.
Yeah, I think it was about 3, but like you said, that's what the game's about, is coming for these kids to play on a Friday night. Good experience, something they can talk about, when they're our age and such, about the excitement of playing on a Friday night.
Well, again, the Rough Riders walk away with a 62-14 victory. A lot of kids, a lot of players got a chance to play tonight in this win. So, Mark, Rough Riders will be at home next week against Bath. They come in, and again, we'll see how that pans out. Hall of Fame induction night, Hall of Fame game, so to speak, for the Rough Riders. So we'll see how it all pans out next week.
Absolutely. And, Walpock's winning that game right now against Bath, but it's a little closer than most people had thought. So, it's a rainy night, and it's at Bath as well. So that could be contributing to it. So, we'll see what Bath brings, next week.
All righty, Mark. Thanks for stopping by. We'll talk to you next week.
All right. Thanks.
This halftime is being brought to you by Hewer Renovating. If you're looking to renovate your home, former Rough Rider standout Craig Hewer is your go-to man. Hewer Renovating is an all-phase residential specialist with over 40 years experience and an A-plus Better Business Bureau rating. Improve your investment by giving Hewer Renovating a call at 419-394-8643. Roughriders 62-14 winners over the Elida Bulldogs tonight here at Grand Lake Health Systems Field. Here to take a look at the statistics in the ballgame. Once again, here's Zach.
Yeah, so we had St. Mary's had 16 first downs tonight. Elida had 12. Total yards, 482 for St. Mary's, 245 for Elida. Passing stayed the same for St. Mary's from the first half, 1 for 3 for a touchdown. Elida was 7 for 14 for 2 interceptions. Passing net yards for St. Mary's, 70. For Elida, 118. St. Mary's had 29 rushes for 412 yards. Elida, 39 rushes for 127 yards. St. Mary's, again, had no interceptions or fumbles tonight. And Elida had 2 fumbles and 1 loss. 5 penalties for St. Mary's for 43 yards. Probably want to clean that up again. That's sure more than Coach Fry would like to see on
Absolutely.
there. Elida, fairly clean. 2 penalties for 20 yards. 2 for 3 on third down conversions for St. Mary's. Frankly, didn't need the third downs too much tonight, really. For Elida, 4 for 12 on third down conversions. So not able to convert much. Elida had 3 punts for 94 yards. The average drive starting for St. Mary's stayed at 43.1 and Elida at 24.9. Time of possession, St. Mary's only had the ball for 13 minutes and 40 seconds. Elida had 31 minutes and 18 seconds. So a lot of big plays by St. Mary's. You know, it seemed like every drive we had a run up the middle that would able to take it pretty far or a touchdown there. Individual stats, Kurt Butt for St. Mary's, 1 completion for on 3 attempts for 70 yards and a touchdown. Ethan Wedding, 7 rushes for 102 yards with that 2 TDs. Hunter Fraley, 4 rushes for 64 yards. Ross Henson, 4 rushes for 58 yards. Kurt Butt, 4 rushes for 16 yards. And a plethora of a lot of other of the players there with a lot of different rushes there in the second half. Receiving, Ethan Freewalt again for that, and Dylan Troglin on that hook and ladder play. For Elida, Larkin Henderson had 6 attempts for 4 completions for 110 yards. Brandon Howard had 8 attempts, 3 completions for only 8 yards. And Larkin Henderson had 15 rushes for 30 yards and 1 TD. So not a lot of stats there on the Elida side, even though they had the ball for a lot of that time, Joe.
All righty, we'd like to thank Hewer Renovating for being our game statistic sponsor. If you're looking to renovate your home, former Rough Rider standout Craig Hewer is your go-to man. Hewer Renovating is an all-phase residential specialist with over 40 years experience and an A-plus Better Business Bureau rating. Improve your investment by giving Hewer Renovating a call at 419-394-8643.
I think we got to thank our crew tonight, too, that had to stand out there in the rain. Sam Huber, Dex Yelton, Scott Spencer, and Logan Yelton. It's getting chilly out there, Joe. I'm glad that we were able to stay in this nice new press box.
Absolutely. So we, again, thank our crew for bringing the shots that you will see on Rider Nation Station. And, again, you can see this game on Monday, replayed on TSC Channel 702 and 13.1 starting at 10 a.m. Well, homecoming 2019, a win for the St. Mary's Roughriders as they now run their record to 5-2 overall and 4-2 in the Western Buckeye League with a 62-14 win over the Elida Bulldogs. Once again, I want to remind you that we will be bringing you the audio of the Bath St. Mary's game next Friday night. Zach will join me here at Grand Lake Health Systems Field. We'll be on the air with the game approximately 6:45, so we'll hope you join us then. Once again, our final score here at Grand Lake Health Systems Field. the Roughriders 62, the Elida Bulldogs 14. For Zach Farrell, I'm Joe Hurlbert and our entire Rider Nation Station crew. So long, everyone. We'll see you next week with more Rough Rider football. I'll tell you what, that was a tough one to call.
Yeah.
And it's going to be worse next week.
Yep.
Yeah.